conference that will spur you, that will inspire you, and to make you reflect on the next phase of your life. At the Purposeful Woman Network, our heartbeat is at the core of empowering women to become a better version of themselves and help them gain clarity through their purpose, help them to also impact their lives and community through their gifts and talent. So today at the conference, we have amazing panel session speakers that will help you to push you into your next phase of action in thriving as a purposeful woman. From wherever you're joining from, we welcome you to this conference and we say, will you relax and get your journal, get your pens ready, because you will be blown away by our amazing speakers and panelists. So once again, welcome to the 2025 Purposeful Woman Conference.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the Purposeful Woman Conference. You're all welcome. I'm really excited. Today is day two of the Purposeful Woman Conference. I mean, yesterday was massive. We had a great time. Once again, you are welcome to the Purposeful Woman Conference 2025. And as you all know, the theme is Striving as a Purposeful Woman. I am really excited to be here today. Yesterday was massive. I hope we had a lot of fun yesterday. So please, I would want to meet you all. Wherever you're joining from, kindly drop an update. Let me see the emojis. Let me see the energy in the room. Wherever you're joining me from, just kindly introduce yourself, your name, and where you're joining from. Okay. I know we had a great time yesterday. Such powerful and amazing speakers. Oh, nice. I can see Florence. She said she's from Abuja. You're welcome, Florence. You're welcome. Oh, nice. I can see Chinazo. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. Chinazo Ezim from Abuja as well. Oh my God, Abuja on fire. Oh, nice. Okay, let's keep it rolling. So, okay, I need a quick thing, right? Just kindly share the links to your friends, to your colleagues. Let them know what's happening. Let them know that we are live already. Kindly share the links with your friends, your colleagues, your siblings. Let them join. Let me see yeah. Oh, lovely, Victoria from Kano. Beautiful. In Aquana. Nice. I can see Victoria. You're welcome, Victoria. Please, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the comments rolling. Oh, nice. Smart from Port Harcourt, all the way from the United States of Port Harcourt. Amazing. You're welcome, Mercy. Oh, nice. Beautiful. You're all welcome. I can see the ladies here. Purposeful ladies are already on point. We are here. Like, we don't dull. Somebody say clock it. Lovely. You're welcome once again. Please, let's keep the comments rolling. Like I had said, share the links with your friends. Just share the link on your WhatsApp status. Call for people. Let them come and join. Let them come and partake in this awesomeness. You know, yesterday we had a great time. Yesterday. Everyone was blown from Lady Victoria, who came to share about her story, and a lot of us was so. I felt so touched to see a woman, coming all the way to be so vulnerable to tell us about her life story. A lot of people want to hoard information, but she was so open with us. It felt like, oh, guys, we're home. This is something relatable. We really had a great time, to Dr. Vivian coming to speak to us, and other amazing speakers. DDK was here as well. Oh my goodness. She came with fire. There was so much fire. And our moderator was on point too. Yesterday was really a great time. We had so much fun. I don't know if you were able to join yesterday's session. If you were, you can as well just drop a comment of how you felt about yesterday's session, like your take home. What did you learn? What did you gain from yesterday's session? Please kindly drop it and let me see. Oh, Ezim, beautiful. Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. So, as you all know, my name is Melody Christopher. I'm a journalist, a certified journalist. I'm a compare. I'm also a LinkedIn influencer, right? And we are here to have a great time. I'm so happy to connect with fellow ladies. You don't get to see such events often. Most events is a mix with male and female, but this one is a unique one because it's just we, the female, just we. So everything we're saying here is relatable. We're not just cooking stories. Everything relatable, guys. Let me feel the energy in the room. Awesome. I'm really excited, and I believe you're all excited as well. So today we have a lineup of amazing speakers. My God. Hey, these women are on fire. Like I said, yesterday was fire. I will not stop in there. We're taking up from there, from where we stopped yesterday. That's what we're picking up. We keep going, we keep moving forward. And these women they're amazing. They're amazing. These are women who are grounded, top global leaders in their industry. And they're here to have a swell time with us. They're here to connect with us. They're here to, teach us what has worked for them over the years. And I'm really excited to be introducing them. I'm going to take, you one step at a time from, okay, beautiful. So we're going to be having a swell time. So just get ready, get ready, get ready. I don't know if it's just from my end. I can't see the comments yet. I can't see the comments. Can I see the comments? Ladies, are you excited about today's session? Are you really excited? Let me see it. Let me feel it from the comment section. The emojis, the comments. Okay, I don't know. I think it's taking time for the comments to load from my end. However, I want to believe that comments are already rolling in. You know how we roll. You know how we do these things, guys. You know how we do it, ladies. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. In the next 1 minute, I will be calling up an amazing woman. But before then, I'll be reading her bio as well. I'll be reading her bio to us so that we get to meet her. We get to know the person that will be taking up, the next session. She will be our keynote speaker for today's session. And yes, I know we're all excited. I know we are really excited to meet her because, man, this is a mover on her own. She we call her the algorithm, right? So I know a lot of you have a clue, or some of you have a clue of the person I'm going to be calling for the next session. So yes, I still can't see our comments. Oh, thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're not done yet. Still share the link. Still share the link, guys. Share the link. You could do a hashtag. Hashtag the Purposeful Woman Conference. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Donna. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Oh, beautiful. So we are really excited. We are excited. We're excited about today's session. And I just know we're going to be having a swell time because a lot of people will be getting answers. We'll be getting a lot of answers. So there's been a kind of trend, about being a woman, being a career woman. Is there a balance? Today we are dishing it all out. We are dishing all of this today. So you get to learn, like I said, from the best. We're not just learning from from just anybody. We're learning from the best women of experience, women of purpose. I'm really excited about this session. And the topic is purpose, power, and partnership. That's the topic we're going to be diving into, right? And then we'll be focusing on the future of the purposeful woman. The future. Does the purposeful woman have a future? Well, we're going to be hearing that. We're going to be learning about that today. If the purposeful woman has a future or not. Like someone says, I just want to get married, have kids, and have a husband. Yeah, and that's okay. That's all. Meanwhile, there's still much more to being a woman. There's absolutely much more to being a woman, right? So, yes. I'm excited. So before the next speaker comes up, can we just drop some comments? What stood out for you yesterday? Before I read up the bio for the next speaker, what did you learn from yesterday's session? Did you have any takeaway? Like, what stood out for you the most? Oh, for some reason, the comments are coming in late. Thank you so much, Dr. Donna. I'm just seeing your comments. Oh, this is the Lady Florence said what stood out for her yesterday was take healing as part of, your lifestyle. Yes. Somebody say clock it. Can I feel the energy, guys? I'm not really feeling you guys today. What's going on? Take healing as part of your lifestyle. That really stood out for me yesterday because, lots of time we think that healing is simply like something you do, occasionally, seasonally. Nah, but then we got to realize, and really I got to learn about it too yesterday, that healing is part of the lifestyle. You know how that you live for it every day to keep healing, every day to keep getting better, to keep improving. So that's something really massive. Yeah, Dr. Donna say clock it. Amazing. I'm happy that we have some Gen Zs here. Even if not Gen Z, but like some Gen Z moms, like we call them. I saw a meme recently. Someone said, how do you identify a Gen Z mom from a regular mom? And then, I saw how a lot of people were reacting. Some says that, well, you're going to tell the child that if you misbehave, you're not going to get, if you misbehave, you won't be able to see some movie at the cinema. And then some would be like, well, oh, nice. Dr. Donna said, trauma can be healed. It is never over. Oof. That is it. It is never over. It can be healed. Some persons feel as though trauma cannot be healed. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Right about now, it's time already. It's time. Okay, beautiful. I'll be reading the bio shortly. All right. So, are you guys ready to meet this amazing woman, guys? All right. So, Blossom Afia is a proof that a woman's purpose is never lost. It's only waiting to be discovered through the very moments that try to silence her. She started with LinkedIn posts that barely made a ripple, but instead of shrinking, she chose to learn, to rise, to build. That decision turned 2 lonely impressions into over 3 million organic views in just 6 months. Hey, can you hear that? Today, Blossom is one of Africa's most influential voices on storytelling and personal branding, guiding over 600 entrepreneurs and executives around the world to turn their online presence into purpose-driven influence and income. Her impact has been recognized globally, ranked the number 3 LinkedIn creator in Nigeria by Ficon, named the number 1 copywriter and content marketer in Nigeria, and honored as LinkedIn Influencer of the Year by the Phoenix Gates Groups. But beyond accolades, Blossom Afia stands for something bigger, a new generation of purposeful women who build with conviction, lead, who build with conviction. Oh, sorry, a moment. Who build with conviction and shape spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the one and only Blossom Afia. She is the one and only Blossom Afia on LinkedIn. We call her the algorithm. Please make welcome the queen of LinkedIn. Hey, can I see the emojis? Can I feel the energy in the room? You're welcome, queen.
Thank you so much, Melody. Oh my God. I didn't know you have so much energy. I've just been smiling backstage. Like, is this Melody? Is this Melody Christopher? I love your energy and I love what you do. So,
Thank
good evening,
you.
purposeful women. Good evening, women of valor. Good evening, women of substance. I believe and I trust God that your coming here would not be a waste of time. And that purpose, whatever you're trusting God for today, it's actually going to become a reality. All right. So many people see my growth and impact on LinkedIn. So many people. And they keep wondering, how did Blossom do this? How did she grow to this particular point in her life? Now, let me take you back a bit. Interestingly, there was a point in my life where I felt very inadequate. I felt I wasn't good enough. I felt incompetent. I felt that things were not just working out the way they should have worked out for me. Why? Because I come from a family of excellence. My dad is someone that would always want his students to be his children to be top in the class and all of that. So when life happened and I had several rejections, especially when it got to the whole admission into the Nigerian university, you know what it can be like if you're in Nigeria. So I had a lot of crises and I allowed the inner voice in me to judge me, to define my story. There was a point where I thought that, Blossom, you are not enough. Blossom, you will not make it. Blossom, your story is over. That's why sometimes I write posts on LinkedIn. It comes from my heart because I know what it means to be in that particular position. So over time, the journey from that anxious girl that felt very inadequate to who I am now, see me talking in front of a group of very, very highly esteemed women, it was an intentional decision of personal transformation. I took it upon myself. I told myself, Blossom, yes, things have happened in the past. Yes, there was a stage where you felt inadequate. You felt you were not good enough. But God actually turned my story around. God rewrote my story, and that was when I knew what purpose was. It started to make sense to me that, okay, what if all these things you went through, God was actually redirecting you for something bigger? Trust me, my testimony presently is bigger than every thought, every reality I had in the past. So whenever I come to talk to people like this, I always encourage them that yes, you might at some point feel that you're not good enough, you are not the best, you know, you see people doing a lot of things and you feel inadequate and complete and incomplete. Please, after today, we are talking about purposeful women. We are talking about purposeful women. And I know that the women that are here, the intentionality I've seen since yesterday, you are a purposeful woman. And if you are a purposeful woman, you are going to shine. That means you are a light carrier, you're a vision carrier, you're a purpose carrier, and nothing, I mean, nothing is going to dim it. So, in as much as your beginning might seem little, in as much as things might look as if they are not working out, trust God, trust this event, and trust your destiny. it's going to work for you. So with that, we're going to go to the theme of our program today. We're talking about the future of a purposeful woman. What does the future look like for the women, the purposeful woman, the purposeful woman. So before I start, I just want you to type in the chat box, all right? I am a purposeful woman. You know, when I listened to the speakers yesterday, one of the things that struck me was the power of the words of our mouth. The fact that words are life and they give birth to our reality. When you are conscious of that, wherever you go, we are not just put. Oh, my mama did not just put this program up so that just listen to people and go. We want you to practicalize this thing. Tell yourself, if you've not told yourself before, just type it in the comment section, whether you've mentioned it to yourself or not. Just type it in the comment section. I am a purposeful woman. I am a purposeful woman. I am a purposeful woman. I want to see several people put that out there. I am a purposeful woman. Okay, beautiful. So I believe that we've done that. Okay, let's get straight to the business of the day. The future, what does the future hold for us women? Those that are working in purpose. We've had a lot of definitions of purpose, and that's what I'm going to start with. Purpose, the first P. Purpose, purpose, purpose. Yesterday, our keynote speaker, DDK, actually defined purpose to us in a very beautiful way. She said that it's just literally where you are headed in life. When you can sit down and then you know that there is an alignment, all right, you know that there is a fix, there is a merge between who you are, your reality, and where you're headed. That's when you can say that yes, I'm working in purpose. When you think about the direction, why am I here on earth, why am I in this particular sector, why am I in this particular career, and all of that, if you can put those things together, you can actually find your purpose, or your purpose can find you. Because another interesting thing about the conversation we had yesterday was that someone mentioned that you don't find purpose, purpose finds you. It finds you in your daily experiences, it finds you in your daily mistakes, it finds you in your daily lessons. Very important. And then it finds you in your day-to-day activities. So yes, you build your career, or your purpose will build you. I really, really enjoyed the session yesterday, and I trust that you do that. So we've established one fact: purpose is not about activity. You can be doing a lot of things, but trust me, if you're not living in purpose, it's going to feel like stress, it's going to feel like work, you're going to get tired, you're going to get exhausted. Oh my god. I wrote, when I was writing a post for this event, I shared a story. I shared a bit of myself. I mentioned how I suffered, like I went through a lot literally while growing up. And it's just today it makes sense to me, because at that point I thought that God did not like me. Maybe there was a special kind of beef he had with me. Because why is it that yes, I was intelligent, yes, I was having the good grades, yes, I was reading, yes, I was doing what I should do, but then I always had issues. I was rejected in places where I should have been accepted. I was rejected in spaces where people that were not even as good as myself in terms of grades and school and all of that were doing a lot better. There were times I locked myself in my room and I was in tears, like, God, what is really happening? What is really happening? It did not make sense to me at that point. But today, anytime I get to share my story with people, I get to tell them that God is a master strategist. God is that person that will rewrite your story and put you out there, and sometimes you just be like, I see what you were doing, God. I see what you were doing. I see what you were doing. Today, my story is just, I don't know. Eh, That's why every day I just hold God tight, because He literally transformed my life. He transformed my life for real. So it's not about the activity, it's not about the promotion, it's that whatever you're doing, it might not even be something that is giving you millions of dollars per se. Like someone shared yesterday, one of the speakers, and I was so in love with her story. She was working in Microsoft. Like I was just thinking about it. Plus, of Microsoft, but she still felt that there was a gap in her journey, in her story. It was so inspiring. I don't know if I listened to her and I'm like, God, that means this purpose of a thing is real. It is real, because you get to particular platforms, you get to stages, but if it is not in line with what God wants for you, you are going to literally struggle. you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So we've talked about purpose, all right? We've talked about how activity is not the same as alignment. Sorry, I have my book here. I had to write down some points for the, the meeting. Now, when you lead with purpose, the last thing I'm going to say, because a lot of speakers have spoken about purpose already. When you lead with purpose, the beautiful thing about it is that things become easier for you. You have peace of mind. You are progressing naturally. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to stress yourself. You see that thing that, let's say, someone was doing for like 5 years and it gave them a particular result. Yours, you do it for just 6 months and you'll be shocked and you marvel at what God is going to do through you in that particular 6 months, in that space of time. That's the beautiful thing about purpose. Purpose puts you in the center and you become a magnet where you attract opportunities. People come to you, nations, voices, kings, they come to your brightness of your light because at that point, you are light, you are light, you are light in that sector. So I don't want to dwell too much on that. Like I said, we are moving to power P. Power P. Dr. Vivian mentioned how women can they have the tendency of abusing power, and it's not just because she said it, it's because I have seen it. Let's start from places like banks. Have you gone to a bank and you meet a lady on the counter, and maybe you're a fine girl coming inside, and maybe I had one very bad experience while I was growing up, and I was just at that from that day when I see a woman at the counter, I just don't want to go there because I don't like embarrassment. It was that bad. Power, power, power. The future of a purposeful woman is that you know that yes, you are powerful. God has given you power. But number one, you don't abuse it. You don't use it to oppress people. You know that this power that has been given to you is for you to fulfill destiny and purpose. It's for you to impact lives and change the world and change the systems and change structures. That is the reason why God has given you this power. Now, power doesn't mean you should be loud, all right? Power does not mean you should be loud at all. In fact, if you're here and maybe you've known me from LinkedIn, because I really honor the fact that we have different people from different countries, continents, and spaces. Some are on YouTube, some are not even on LinkedIn. But if you're here and you've been following me on LinkedIn, my video events, wherever you see me, you will notice that I am not a loud person. And I'm not even a kind of person that would fake it. I say, okay, because I'm coming here, I need to. Do you get? Power is not you being loud. It is not you being loud. It's not also you being in control. Like I said, it's not that you have to press people, you have to shrink people, you have to oppress people. That is not what power is. Power, three things. Number one, influence. When we talk about influence, godly influence, yes, you've been put in a position where you are to lead people. It might not even be 10,000 people, 20,000, 100,000. No. It could be starting from your family as a lady. You have a younger sister, you have a younger brother, you have a friend, you have someone. Influence. What are you using this power to do over them? Very important. Very, very important. That matters a lot, especially in the public sector, because we don't want a kind of future where we still have that ideology that women are still, oppressing people in the social factor, in the corporate bodies and all of that. No. If you're a woman listening to me right now, if you're a lady listening to me right now, please and please let's learn to use our power well. Wherever God has placed us to lead people, to influence people, be a woman of change, be an architect of change, be a woman that will lead people, and then people are surprised, like, this lady is so different, this woman is so different, this, I love the way she does this, I love the way she does that. That is what the power should do. If it does not return glory to God, please, please, let's abstain from it. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about, all right, when it comes to this, is empathy. We've talked about influence, empathy. You know how you go to hospitals and then you see that there are some nurses that will treat you. That's another myth, because people now believe that when you see a woman that is a nurse, she would be unkind, she would be unfriendly. No, that should not be something that is found amongst the purposeful women. And I know and I trust that the purposeful women here are actually taking notes of these things. You should be very empathetic. You should have a very beautiful heart. You see the way God created women. Oh my God, we are very, very beautiful creatures. But when you decide to flip the switch and do something else, it turns you into a man kind of. So you have to have this kind of softness, this kindness, this empathy for people that has been put under your power, under your control. You have to be very empathetic. The last thing is intentionality. Everything you do, my God, you do it with so much intentionality. Because one thing about intentionality, especially when it comes to social media, when it comes to putting yourself out there, it kinds of breath excellence. And we women, purposeful women, we are women of excellence. We are women of excellence. People should look at you and be like, how is she doing this thing? What is so special about her? How has she been able to build something this strong, something this beautiful? This is very important, intentionality, so that you strive towards excellence. I know that at the end of the day, it might not be 100%, but do your best to ensure that you're doing what you can to make God proud of you. You know that your excellence actually promotes God in a way. It's kind of, it's like you're boosting God's reputation. That is what your excellence does. So if God has sent you to the world, God has sent you on earth, and you are not even shining your light, you are dim wherever you find yourself. God, people be like, this church she's going to, is it audio? Is it video? Literally, you have to understand that God's reputation is at stake. It's in your hands. So whatever you do, stand out, do what you're meant to do, and just shine. Okay, so that's that for the power. Now I wrote some practical tips for women when it comes to power, because you know the world is changing, times are changing, so you have to be intentional with whatever you're doing with the power that has been given to you as a woman. And these tips are very practical. I made it so simple so that we understand and we can practice it. Number one is for you to take rest when necessary. Oh my God. People say women are jack of all trades. A woman can multitask. A woman can do this. A woman can do that. Yes, it's very beautiful. But please, when it is time to rest as a woman, rest. We don't want a situation that you see women come to the hospital, and when they come to the hospital, they are very sick, literally. And some of these sickness have been in their bodies for months. They did not even recognize it. They didn't take note of it because they are running around every day. Oh, I want to go to the market. Oh, I want to go and pick this one. Oh, I want to do this. You will just end up doing so many things that you don't have time to rest. If you want to be powerful, if you want to live in the power that God has given to you, your body is your priority. Your health is your priority, and this is very important. The second thing now is speaking up, building up, speaking up, building up, speaking up, building up. Our speaker spoke about that yesterday. Try to speak up when necessary. Every space deserves you. Every space where decisions are made, it deserves a purposeful woman. So if you find yourself there, don't be afraid to speak up when necessary. Now, the next thing is that you should not shrink for comfort. When you become powerful, when you become influential, oh, people will come, all right? People would feel intimidated and try to shrink you. Please don't shrink yourself for any reason. Don't don't shrink. Don't shrink. Don't shrink. They should be the ones adjusting their lenses to fit the purpose that God has actually placed in you, to fit your light. Don't shrink yourself for any reason. Now, the last P is partnership. That's where we are ending today. Now, partnership, what are we talking about? You cannot do life alone. Scripture says iron sharpens iron. So you have one iron here, you have another iron here. They sharpen each other. This iron is not saying, oh, if I sharpen this one, she will shine brighter than me. This other iron is not saying, if I sharpen this one, she's going to shine brighter than me. That's not the case. You have to understand that we rise by lifting one another. The future of a purposeful woman is community building. One of the things I took back from this meeting, from this event, is the fact that my mama, that's Florence, she was able to put together powerful women. I looked at the flyer and I was just seeing founder of this, founder of that, founder of. I'm like, beautiful. This is what it should look like. If we keep doing this intentionally every time, the world is going to be a better place for all of us, for all the women. So, how do you do this? Build a tribe, belong to a community, ask for help when necessary. You need people in your space. You need people in your space. Then we have two other things. That's collaborate with purpose, and create a safe space. Be a woman that celebrates people. Be a woman that claps for people. Be a woman that allows, like, make people shine naturally. be a woman, be that particular kind of woman, so that when it's your turn, you know how the universe works. People can also clap for you too. In summary, purpose will give you direction. The second thing, power will give you resilience. Then partnership will give you wings to fly. The exercise today is that when you go back home, ask yourself these questions. There are three questions I want you to reflect on at the end of this event. Ask yourself those three questions. Number one, what am I called to build? That's the question of purpose. So if you have your pen now, you can write it down. What am I called to build? Number one. The second question is the question on power. Who am I becoming with what has been given to me? Who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? That's the question of power. Now, the last one is who is working with me? You have to now partnership, all right? Who you are working with. Try to connect, find your tribe. Yesterday, we heard of Lola tribe, that's the wealth tribe. We heard of other tribes, we heard of communities, the purposeful women. Find a tribe that aligns with your vision, emphasis on that, and follow them, join them. Everything is going to be beautiful. So thank you so much, Melody. Thank you so much, Mama Florence. I think at this point I'll just take my bow.
Fantastic session. Beautiful. Please, can I get some reactions in the comment section? That was an amazing one. Thank you so much, Lady Blossom. I mean, so much takeaways. I was just jotting. It's in my pen. I was just busy jotting. And I believe a lot of us were also taking notes of, some of the things she said. And most of the things she said were quite relatable. Like the story she said about being in the bank, I had also experienced same, but mine was in the immigration office of a woman I met, and she was so tough. Even the male were even so kind to me, and I was like, why are we doing that? So, and then I could understand that at some point knowledge too, knowledge gap could also cause that. That is why such events are very, very important. Thank you so much, Blossom. Thank you. And before she leaves the stage entirely, I would want to ask, do we have any questions for her? If you have any question for her, kindly drop it on the comment section. I know we have questions. We cannot just come and then, Allah had to go without bombarding her with questions. So feel free to drop your comments on the comment section. And yeah, so some of the things while you're dropping the comments, let me just drop some of the things I learned from her session. She said that don't abuse power. Don't abuse, even you're in the high places or wherever, whatsoever sector you are operating in, and you're operating in the very top industry and you're doing well. Don't abuse power. Treat people with love, treat people with empathy. She said we're supposed to be people who have empathy. Women should have empathy for one another, for both the male and the female. She said quite a lot of things. Oh my goodness. And then she also made mention of the fact that if you're not living in your purpose, you will get tired. Depression will swing in. You keep having other issues because you're not living in purpose. One of the things that makes us, living really healthy, living, excited is because you're fulfilling purpose. So yeah, your purpose is important. You need to find your purpose. You need to live in it, guys. Beautiful. Thank you so much once again. So yeah, I'm still waiting. Do we have questions? Kindly drop it on the comment section. Let the questions keep rolling. And then I also love the part where she shared about her story, right? She shared about the fact that she had been through different stages, different phases of life. And then now she keeps asking herself, wow, is it just me? And it's because she has gotten, she has discovered purpose and she's living in it. That's why it feels exciting. It feels relaxing for her at this, point of her life. Unlike then that she was confused, she was sad, she was crying. Oh my goodness. Blossom, do you have those videos? Sometimes people document their sorrowful journey so that beyond them just saying it, you can also see it. Okay, I documented this thing, so we could see. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much once again. Thank you. Yeah, Victoria said, what a mind-blowing section. Amazing. It was truly a mind-blowing session indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you, Blossom. We are really excited. Okay, so I will assume there's no question, Or if you have, you could still drop it in the comments, and we'll take note of that. Okay, Ezim said, may God give us gifts of men. Amen. 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 All right. So, guys, or should I say ladies? Emphasis on ladies, please. Ladies, we are still having a great time. We are still having a great time. Can you do me something? Do me a favor now. Do me a favor. Kindly share the links. Kindly share the links. Ladies need to come and join this session. They need to listen. They need to learn from us. They need to learn. We're not joking here. This is the Purposeful Woman Conference 2025. In case you've forgotten, the Purposeful Woman Conference 2025. And as you know, the team is striving as a purposeful woman. I love what Blossom said. Blossom said that Mrs. Florence, the kind of women she gathered for such an event, that it's very intentional. She didn't just, it was like the Holy Spirit had to guide her through, like, okay, let me lead you, because these women, they are powerful women, to be honest, and I've been thinking about it as well. Thank you once again. Okay, so the next on my list is, we'll be having another beautiful session. We'll be having an amazing session, and we'll be focusing on leadership. So the topic for the next session is leadership with purpose and emotional intelligence. Leadership with purpose and emotional intelligence, right? So I'll be calling her. But meanwhile, let me just read the bio so that we can all get to meet her and know the kind of person who is going to be speaking with us for the next few minutes. Betty Hines is a seasoned business strategist, facilitator, and advocate for women entrepreneurs. With 40 years of executive experience, she has worked with the women business owners leading companies generating revenues from $10 million to billions. My God, I love figures. As the founder of Women Elevating Women, WEW, and chapter chair for the Plantium 3 group of Women Presidents Organization, WPO. Betty empowers high-achieving women through collaboration, mentorship, and strategic growth initiatives. In recognition of her lifelong commitment to leadership and impact, she was honored as 2025 recipient of the President Biden Lifetime Achievement Award. Betty is dedicated to fostering economic empowerment and elevating women in business. My goodness. Ladies, make welcome the Betty Hines. Lady Betty Hines, please, a round of applause for her. Let me feel the emoji. This is a woman that has moved millions into billions. I'm not even talking about any other currency. I'm talking about dollars. Wow, such an amazing woman. Oh my goodness, you're welcome, Ma. Happy to have you here. Please, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful, heartwarming introduction. It moved my heart and my spirit. Thank you. Thank you. So good morning and good afternoon or good evening, sisters in Nigeria and across the country. I am truly honored to be here with visionary women and some men who are shaping families, companies, and communities across this extraordinary nation. I bring greetings from Women Elevating Women, or as we affectionately refer to ourselves as WOO, where we live by one guiding truth. And the previous speaker spoke to it as well. As iron sharpens iron, women elevate women. When I speak of leadership, I don't mean a title. I mean the ability to influence with integrity and inspire with intention. And when I speak of purpose, I mean that quiet voice inside that says, I was born to make a difference. But purpose without emotional intelligence can feel like passion without direction. Emotional intelligence, or EI, helps us channel that purpose into impact. with empathy, awareness, and discipline. So why purpose matters? Every great movement begins with a purpose. Purpose steadies you when criticism comes. Purpose guides you when the path is unclear. Purpose reminds you why you started when fatigue whispers, rest or stop. But women entrepreneurs, executives, change makers, influencers, purpose is what keeps us from shrinking. It transforms obstacles into opportunities. Let me tell you, when you understand your why, you lead differently. You delegate differently. You even recover differently. Because purpose turns pain into power and vision into victory. I'm going to say that one more time. Purpose turns pain, and some of us are going through pain, but it turns that pain into power and vision into victory. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to talk about the 5 pillars of success through the lens of emotional intelligence. At WOO, we live by 5 pillars of success that anchor emotionally intelligent leaderships. These are universal, whether you're leading a bank in Abuja, a factory in Lagos, or a nonprofit in Port Harcourt. Our first pillar is collaborate, and that's the heart of collective intelligence. No empire is built alone. I don't care what anybody says. No empire is built alone. Emotional intelligence helps us listen before we lead and value contribution over control. Collaboration is not a threat. It's an accelerator. Ask yourself, who can I build with rather than compete against? The connect pillar. This is the bridge between access and opportunity. We often say at WOO, we don't have a networking problem. We have a network design problem. And I say this because emotional intelligence helps you design connections with intention. It's not about how many contracts you have. It's about how many conversions you create. A strategic connection should lead to clients, capital, or collaboration. My next pillar is communicate. That's the currency of clarity. Communication is how we translate vision into value. An emotionally intelligent leader speaks with empathy and listens with humility. One more time. An emotionally intelligent leader speaks with empathy and listens with humility. Your words should inspire confidence, not confusion. When we communicate well, we elevate trust, and trust is the invisible currency of leadership. Our next pillar is courage. The power to act when the room goes silent. Courage doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you've learned to move forward with fear in your hand. It takes courage for any of us and all of us to ask for funding. It takes courage to fire someone kindly. It takes courage to build again after a loss. Emotional intelligence allows us to manage those emotions and choose purpose over panic. My next pillar is to cultivate. That's the art of sustainable growth. Cultivation is what separates leaders who rise for a moment from those who rise for a lifetime. One more time. This pillar, this emotional intelligence quality to cultivate, is what separates leaders who rise for a moment from those who rise for a lifetime. It's about developing people, systems, and structures that outlive you. And that's what this Purposeful Women Conference is about. It's about developing people, systems, and structures that outlive you. Emotionally intelligent leaders invest in others. And that's what we're doing at this conference. Because legacy is never built alone. So how do we live this out day to day? We have to practice self-awareness, knowing our triggers, knowing our tendencies. By strengthening self-regulation, we need to pause before reacting. By building empathy, understanding that your team or your client truly needs. We have to understand what they need. For example, if a client misses a deadline, emotional intelligence reminds you to ask why before we accuse. When your team seems disengaged, emotional intelligence nudges you to listen, not lecture or judge. That's how leaders transform tension into trust and trust into transformation. One thing that I share all the time with my group is that we must become our own capital. Now, sisters, let's just talk truth. At WU, I often say this. We must become our own capital. That means we cannot wait for others to validate, finance, or rescue our vision. We must engineer our networks such as this, into outcomes. We need to build circles that create deal flows, introductions, and shared prosperity. Purposeful leadership plus emotional intelligence equals economic power. Again, purposeful leadership plus emotional intelligence equals economic power. Because when women connect with clarity and courage, commerce follows. So let your emotional intelligence lead the way you fund, form partnerships, and even forgive. Yes, forgiveness is also capital. So let me give you 3 anchors, what I call the 3 C's of leadership with emotional intelligence. Stay calm under pressure so you can think, not just react. Have clarity in your purpose so you never lose your North Star. Have compassion in action because leadership without love is just management. When you embody these 3, your influence expands beyond your role. It becomes your reputation. My sisters, leadership with purpose and emotional intelligence is not a destination. It's a daily decision. Every morning, decide to lead with grace instead of anger. Lead with empathy instead of ego. Lead with faith instead of fear. Because when one woman rises with emotional intelligence, she lifts an entire community. So today I challenge you to lead with purpose. Lead the WU way through how you collaborate, you connect, you communicate, you have courage, and you cultivate. Let your leadership be felt, not only in your titles, but in your testimony. As we say in WU, as iron sharpens iron, women elevate women. Thank you for listening, ladies, And may your leadership continue to be both purposeful and emotionally intelligent. Thank you.
My goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Lady Betty Hines. Thank you for that powerful session. Oh my goodness. So much takeaway, so much nugget. I could see Ineka dropping a lot. She says, live with faith instead of fear. Fear is not of us. A woman isn't supposed to be afraid. Thank you so much. Quite a whole lot of things stood out for us, and a few I'll be mentioning here. It says, every great movement begins with purpose. Every
Mhm.
great movement that really caught my attention a lot. So, yeah, ladies, if you have a question for her, please drop it on the comment section. Feel free to drop them. And while we move to the next session, thank you so much, Betty Hines. That was a great one. We really appreciate you. Maybe you could just start the backstage, and then once the questions comes up, I'll bring you up on stage. Thank you so much, Ma.
Hey.
So, yes, we are still excited. We are still in this thing. This is a move, and I'm really happy about it. Please kindly share the links. Share the links with everybody. Somebody say, even your enemy. Share it with your village people as well. They should partake in this. You don't want to hold information. You don't want to gatekeep, because we don't do that here. Like someone says, clock it. So please, let's all join. Share it with everyone so they can partake. And then also, there is a link to join the Purposeful Woman Academy wait list. My goodness, you've all seen what we have. You've all seen what it is to be a part of the Purposeful Woman tribe. And Lady Florence has something amazing for us, something really, really big. This woman is such a woman of passion, woman of purpose. And if you want to join the session, and of course, I think you should join the academy. Yeah, the link will be dropped on the comment so that you can partake in that. Thank you so much once again. Okay, so next, oh, are you guys ready to receive the next speaker? Are you all ready? Ladies in the house, ladies in the house, let me feel your emojis. Let me see the reaction. All right. This lady, this woman is an amazing woman, a woman of power, a woman of influence. My goodness. And she will be taking us about the session on managing transitions. She'll be taking us on the session of redefining success for women at work. Redefining success for women at work. And then I'll be reading her bio right away. Oluwa Funto Olasemo is a strategic research-driven executive with 15 years experience across the capital market, structured finance, and exchange innovation. Currently COO at Afex Commodities Exchange, leading infrastructure, product development, and risk management. Recognized for shaping policy frameworks, my goodness, mobilizing capital at scale over $2 million, and advancing commodities as a viable alternative asset class in Africa. A forward-looking leader who combines transaction structuring expertise with governance, policy advocacy, and stakeholder influence to transform and deliver sustainable financial innovation across markets. Ladies, make welcome Oluwafunto Olasemo. Thank you so much. Good to have you, ma'am.
Hey, good evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me? Can
you.
you see me? Okay, good.
We can see you and hear you.
Um,
Thank you.
Florence, I think you next time you don't put me right behind Madam Betty, because someone of that level of eloquence. I mean, I don't know what else I would say that anybody would want to listen to. I think younger people like us should speak first, and then the grandmasters should wrap it up so that we don't feel intimidated. So thank you very much for having me on this panel today. I mean, I by virtue of my work, I get to speak to many audience, but I must say that this is the first time I'm speaking to, in quotes, an all women audience. And it's um, kind of important to me in one way because um, I grew up among boys, right? And by default, I tend to, so there's this stereotype, right? When a girl grew up among boys, tomboy, I ended up going to an all girls school. So it's almost like a contradiction. You grew up among boys, but you went to an all girls school. And you can imagine the impact that had even going through schools. Um, the female teachers didn't like me because I was confident to a fault. I was very vocal about my opinion about everything. I might not necessarily have an opinion about everything, but the times when have opinions, I don't shy away from saying them, and I'm very unapologetic about being myself or doing me. And so most of what has defined who I am today, whether it's at work or it's at the home front or even in church or even in the secular world, has been the things that I've gone through as a child. Now, the topic we're looking at is redefining success for women at work. I'm going to tweak it a bit to say redefining success for women at large, and I'll tell you why. We are living in a time where, although women are doing extraordinary things, they are leading companies, they are raising families, they are building businesses. We have women that are presidents of nations. We're shaping culture. We're at the front line of innovation. In spite of all of this, there is still the pressure that we need to prove ourselves. There's still the pressure that women need validation. There's still the pressure that we need to be perfect. I mean, when when I was growing up and when I was in secondary school, I remember vividly. Academically, I was the best in the school. So the rule of the school was that the best student is the head girl. But somewhere along the line, the female teacher said, "Oh, I lacked finesse. I wasn't girly enough. So they don't see me as being a good example to be the head girl of an all girls school because I was just in every definition a tomboy, right? So that's a situation that has presented itself that I needed to prove myself to them that I deserved or I have earned this position. So the world has kind of created a script for women that puts a lot of pressure to expect perfection from us. And in so doing, makes us carry this unhealthy weight and pressure that seems fair. So today, I think for every woman on this platform, the first thing I want you to do is to take a minute to breathe in and breathe out, because we really need to start redefining what success really means for us as women, whether it's a work, whether it's even for a student. Maybe there's any young girl who also is going through what I went through, right? We really need to take a minute, slow down, take a step backward, and redefine what success is. Um, for me, right, I think that one of the greatest liberation a woman can give to herself is the permission to define success on her own terms, right? Not comparing herself to anybody or not following an already pre-written script of what success should look like. The world has given us scripts, just like I said, what we must put on, what we must achieve. In fact, there's always this saying that a lady that is not married by maybe at 30, chances are that she's going to live the rest of her life single, right? So there's always that pressure to always say you have to push this way, you have to be flawless, you have to do that. But I would say that within the next few minutes that I will spend with us on this platform, I would like us to rewrite the script. And how do we rewrite that script? The first thing I would like us to do here is, what do we do? Let's define what success is not before we then begin to say what is success, and then what are the things we need to do to redefine success for ourselves. So if I put a secondary school teacher or teacher or a college teacher, and I put the CEO of a multinational side by side, and I ask you the question, who is successful among these two? Um, Without allowing people cast votes, I can say categorically that more than 50% would think the CEO of the multinational is way more successful than the teacher or than the college professor. Now, I want to demystify that mindset that success is not a title. Success is what? It is not a title. Success is not measured by the letters that comes after your name, Doctor something, Professor something, our Royal Highness, CEO, FFN, BRN, AYZ, whatever it is, right? Success is not measured by titles after your name. It's not measured by the size of your checkbook, whether you're getting a few hundreds of naira per month or you're getting tens of millions per month. Success is not defined by a paycheck. Success is not whether you have a corner office with fancy view of the city, whether you're right in front of office is that beautiful city view, seeing all the lights of the city at night. That is not success. Success is not um, the size of your bank account. I mean, all of those things are nice and beautiful, but they don't all equate to success. Title, the way I like to say title is a byproduct of success. Title itself, it's not success. Success is about transformation. It's about your mind. I tell younger people that success is as simple as if you wake up today and you're a better version of yourself than yesterday, you've succeeded at doing something. Success can be that simple. So it's in the transformation of your mind, it is in the transformation of your character, it is in the impact that you make around you. I'm often told that every time I enter into a room, no matter how dull or dry the room is, the room always comes to life. So the question I would like to ask you today is, when you walk into the room, what announces your presence? Is it your position that announces your presence, or is it the impact, the integrity, the courage, the purpose that is driving you? A lot of speakers that have been on this session yesterday and today, they've talked about purpose, living with purpose, um, driving with purpose, everything about purpose. Is it your position that announces you when you enter a room? Or is it the integrity of your heart, the integrity of purpose, the integrity and courage, or the impact you're having around people that announces you when you come into a room? Title, again, I said you can be given title, but what matters the most is that transformation is more impactful. And you cannot be given transformation. You have to end transformation. You have to walk the road of success, which is oftentimes not smooth, it's not straight, with lots of hiccups. But at the end of the day, it's worth that journey. Remember that the boardroom, your office, and the workspace that you are is just a platform, right? It doesn't, if they rip you off of those titles today, who are you? Who are you really in the sense of success? Your growth, your influence, and your resilience is what really, really, really defines success, not the boardroom or the title. So success is not title, it is transformation. Now that we have all agreed that success is not about your paycheck, what then is success? One of the things that I have learned in my own journey over time is that success is very personal. Success is very, very personal. Comparison is an enemy, and comparison is the way I like to say comparison is that comparison is a silent enemy. It's not loud, right? And comparison puts a lot of pressure on women. Oftentimes you compare your career, you compare your progress, you compare your marriages, you compare your motherhood journey. I have two beautiful girls, one of them way taller than me, right? And a lot of time I say, oh, why can't in my head, right? Not I try as much as possible not to verbalize it. In my head, I keep thinking, oh, why can't this one be like this? Why can't this one be like this? Or what am I doing wrong as a mother? Right. So a lot of times we do comparison, and comparison is a thief. It steals our joy. A lot of times when you are on a journey, right, and when you begin to compare, it makes you lose sight of how far you've come in life. It makes you lose sight of even the little wins that you've achieved. It makes you lose sight of the better person that you have become. So in the context of redefining success, comparison steals joy, it steals gratitude, it steals your identity, because you then become a shadow of yourself and start compromising, start doing things that are against your value. And you need to know that your journey is not like anyone else, which is why I said success is very, very personal. Your goals, your priorities, the timing, your capacity. I mean, no, I'll give you another example. I'm a very, very health conscious person, so I do workouts. In fact, the highlight of my day is when I do my exercise, because I feel that is the only thing I do in a day that is for me, that benefits me directly. I work for a company, I earn salary, I'm splitting it between bills, childcare, and all that, right? So I feel like exercise is the only thing. And oftentimes I started doing weight training very recently. And I always, when I go to the gym, there are this set of ladies. I see them. We call them they are chopping bar. I mean, iron, if you understand what I mean. And I feel they had this physique that I was like, wow, these ladies must be lifting stuff. So one day I was sneaking behind one of them to see when she's lifting a particular weight and she drops it. I go check, oh, what weight did she just lift? You know what I found out? I found out that this person that I was admiring and comparing myself to, I actually lift heavier weights than she does. There's what we call flywheel in workouts. She's lifting flywheel of 7.5 kg per hand. I'm lifting flywheel of 10 kg per hand. When she does leg press, she's doing leg press of 100 kg. I am doing leg press of 140 kg. Imagine the unnecessary stress I'm giving myself by comparing that. Wow, this lady's physique is way better than me. I wish I could lift the weights she's lifting. Meanwhile, I'm lifting way more than I've achieved, more body mass than she has. I have more body muscle than she does. So your capacity, your priorities, your timing, your goals are unique to you, and you have no business comparing yourself. And I always say that it is not how far you go that matters. It is how far you have aligned yourself with the goals that you have set. And that is what matters when you talk about redefining success, whether it is at work or in any phase of life. And again, don't be bothered about those that have gone ahead of you. What is most important is where you are today. Are you at peace with yourself? Are you at peace with yourself? Allow yourself some grace to grow at your own pace. It is never too late. It is never too early. Your timing is your timing, and your timing would come. The next thing I would like us to know about success is that success that compromises your health is not success. Again, I said that the highlight of my day is when I do my exercise. And why I'm saying this is you can't define success if it excludes your well-being. There's always a narrative that a woman can endure, that the more a woman can endure, the more admirable she is. Oh, that woman is very strong. Oh, that woman is very powerful. Oh, that woman is this, that. And at the end of the day, you carry more than you can bear, not knowing that deep inside of you, you are breaking. So success is not any success that is at the price or at the expense of your health, your joy, is at best shallow victory. A woman that is constantly exhausted is not she's barely surviving. She's not thriving. So when you talk of redefining success, you have to look at it in context of your well-being. Even the Bible says that, beloved, in John chapter John, third John, right? The third book of John, it has just one chapter. It says, I wish above all things. It said, I wish above all things that you succeed and prosper and be in what? In health. Meaning that your physical well-being is as important to God as your spiritual well-being and every other success that you can talk about. So if you are not taking care of yourself, your health, when it comes to your work success, you're going to suffer some burnouts. And burnouts, right? You're not here to burn out. You're here to shine. You're here to thrive. Purposeful women are supposed to shine wherever they are. And when you see a woman that is thriving, the world is actually a better place. The next point I would like to say, I think I have about 5, 10 minutes. So the next thing I would like to talk about is that, and I think Betty talked about it, the women lifting women. Success is supported. I mean, no woman on planet Earth, on this side of heaven, ever thrives alone. Every woman that you have seen that is successful have succeeded because they've learned to build a support system around them. In the course of my job, I get to travel, not even in the course of the current job, all my career, I get to travel from time to time, right? If I didn't have a support system, how am I supposed to raise a family? How am I supposed to have a stable home front? So there is no woman that thrives alone. The idea that a woman can do everything by herself is not true. You need support. You need support systems. And there's also that notion that women, we tend to tear each other down, right? We need to move away from that paradigm. We need to move into that mindset where you, as a woman, you should be comfortable speaking good of another woman in room that matters. You should, like Madam Betty said, women lifting women. Successful women are never isolated. If you're going to look at redefining success at work, you cannot be isolated. In fact, there's a saying. I went for a safari ride recently, and one of the people that I went with, we were talking, and she was telling me about one experience about um a lion that was trying to hunt, and they were this pack of animals, and as many as the animals were, the lion didn't catch one. And one of the things that struck me, and one of the things that I learned from that is that when you are the animals that usually fall prey to predators are the ones that rides alone. The ones that are usually in a pack, it's almost nearly impossible for them to be hunted down, because the moment it tries to point, everybody, first and foremost, all the animals goes in 1,001 direction. That already disorients the predator, and then sometimes they can rally around back to attack the predator, so that that one animal that has been captured can get their freedom. So most successful women, there's no single successful woman that had risen to the height of success alone. Those that rise to the height of success alone, more often than not, go and check them. They are lonely. They don't feel fulfilled. So we need to start building connections. We need there's strength in shared wisdom. There is power in sisterhood. There is grace in being vulnerable and in collaboration. Men are often, and they said that men often, they have each other's back. For us, we need to also begin to practice the same thing. Um, as I round up, I would like to say, as purposeful women, what do we need to do to redefine success at workplace? First and foremost, we need to redefine success from the place of purpose, not from the place of pressure. As I said, your journey is unique. Your journey to success is as unique as the fingerprint on the palms of your hand. Women, we often measure our success by expectation of others, by expectation of the society, by long checklists, vision boards, comparison game, name it, different names. I mean, some of those things are good, but they shouldn't be the yardstick for measuring success. Success driven by pressure, oftentimes it's temporarily, because you would suffer from burnout. That is just the reality. Success that is driven by purpose is unstoppable. I'll give you a very classic example. I mean, I'll use my fitness as an example. When I go to lift weights, a lot of times I find out that when I try to copy routines that I am not used to, I usually can't complete the rounds. But when I go to the gym to say, okay, I am doing upper body today, and this is what I am doing, these are the goals, this is what I am doing, more often than not, even when fatigue begins to set in, there's that inner strength to carry to the end. And that is what defining success by purpose does for you. You're not under any pressure to impress anybody. It is you and the destination and God, and everything in between can fizzle into thin air. Ask yourself, What impact do I intend to leave? What life am I touching? What legacy am I building? Let this be what is driving your definition of purpose, not pressure. Pressure can break you, but purpose makes you unstoppable. Um, when you are in the boardroom and you're working with your team and you're building your career, those are just, again, platforms. They are props. They are not the goal. They are not the end goal. The legacy that you're building, the bridge between you and other women around you that you're building, should be what should drive you. Another point I would like to talk about before I hand over is that failure is a stepping stone. I know a lot of time we see failure as you're not good enough. Most of my career, I've had elements of sales in them. And one of the things, to an extent, well, I can consider myself a a successful salesperson in every time, in every role that I have. My Bible says that I've raised over, it's not $2 million, it's $200 million. And if you convert that to Naira, you know what that means. And even when I was within the tech sector, sold to multinational companies, technology. One of the things that I have that in my career and in my journey is I have never lost a bid. I have never lost a bid twice for the same reason. I'm going to say that again. I have never lost a bid twice for the same reason. Meaning that if I lost a bid, let me give you a very, for lack of a better example, let's say that I lost a bid because of maybe if a functionality that the system doesn't have, you will hardly see me lose another bid for that same reason. And why and how I was able to do that is when I go into every sales or every negotiation or every boardroom conversation, there are two things that could happen. Is either I win the sale or I lose the sale. Right. But for me, right, is either I win the sale or I understand why I lost the sale. So I don't lose any sale either way. So for me, every sale that I lose, I would come back to get a feedback. Okay, why didn't you guys go for us? What didn't we do correctly? Was it a business decision? Was it a functionality issue? Was it a customer sales issue? I always ensure that every sale I lost, I learned from it and never repeat the same mistake in subsequent sales. So failure is not an enemy of success. It is a teacher. And you know, even God is very aware that we will fail as human. I think it's in Proverbs 24 or so that says that for a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again. I mean, he is a righteous man. Why is he falling 7 times? Because we are human, because we have our own free will. Even when God directs us in Psalm 37, it says that the steps of a good man is directed by God, and God establishes his path. But even when he falls, he is not totally hauled down. Meaning that as righteous man, as good people, even when you are on the path of success, you would sometimes have failure. And failure is not the disaster in itself. It's a teacher, it's learning, it's a stepping stone, and it's not supposed to step us back. So every time you fail, every time you fall, you are learning on how to fly higher, and you're learning on how not to do something the wrong way. Even if it takes you failing 10 times, even if it takes you failing 100 times, your courage to continue to write is what will keep you to pursue your dream and make you unstoppable and begins to make you propel you towards success, irrespective of whatever phase of life you are, whether you're just starting out your career or you're middle stage manager or you're a C-suite person. Your courage to continue to rise will keep you to continue to pursue your dream and makes you unstoppable. We need also to break that chain of comparison. I did mention that comparison is really, really a silent enemy. It's not a loud competitor, it's a silent enemy. Many women, we measure ourselves by the success of others. We really need to drop that we need to break that chain of comparison and then begin to look at ourselves, based on the goals and alignments that we've set for ourselves. We need to build influence as well, not just income. So every time you go to work, every time you wake up, every time you go to work and go about your business, you should ask yourself, which life have you touched today? How have you impacted someone? What have you done differently? Apart from earning your paycheck, what legacy are you building? If you leave that work today, or if you strip off of your title today, what will people remember you for? That is very important. It's not about your ego. It's not about, but making your office, making the platform, making your business, making your marketplace, making the marketplace a platform for impact. Lastly, I'd like to say that you have to live authentic. People that know me knows that I am very bold. As in, I say it. I mean, emotional intelligence applied, of course. I am very bold with the truth. Success is when you're authentic. When you're authentic, it's easy to walk the path of success because you're being true to yourself. When success lacks authenticity, it is just a Olush victory. It's not something that's it's something that when you are not authentic and you appear on the stage of life, you are only appear to be successful. You would have the fear that, oh, what's would happen to me the next minute? Am I going to lose all this influence? The world wants women who do not conform but are able to stand out, that are bold, that are authentic, and can stand firm by their value. They can speak boldly the truth. They are unapologetic. And again, when I say unapologetic, I'm not saying rude, I'm not saying mean. I am saying they shine with empathy, but they also shine unapologetically. You are born to shine, you're born to blaze the trail, you're not born to blend in. And when we lead, we need to lead. Again, the first two speakers said lead with integrity, lead with passion, lead with purpose. At the end of the day, I would like to leave with this last statement that says success is not, again, from all we've been saying, it is not about the title, it is not about the paycheck. Success is not about approval. Success is not how loud the world claps for you. Success is about clarity, being clear that this is my purpose and I am working towards it at work, in business, in even for students. Clarity of purpose is what success is. Success is peace. Success is purpose. Success is resilience. Success is transformation. Success is influence. Success is becoming the woman that God has defined you to be. I am charging everyone on this platform today to say, redefine success today. Own that success that you've defined for yourself. Live that success. You are already enough. The only job you have now is to grow and not to prove anything to anyone. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a powerful, mind blowing session. My notepad is filled up with so much insights. Thank you so much, Ma. That was an amazing one. And yeah, I believe we learned a lot. We learned a lot. I mean, I had to start taking back, start redefining, everything about myself again. She said, redefine success. We need to redefine success. We need to think through what is success. No need for comparison. There is no need. I remember the scripture that says that he that compares himself with another is not wise, right? So that was a powerful session. Thank you so much, Ma. It's really beautiful to have you on this session. So please, I believe a lot of us would have questions for her. Can you please drop your comments, your questions on the comment section if you have a question for her? So before she leaves entirely, we would have to engage her to ask her some questions. Thank you so much, Ma. That was a powerful session. All right. So, ladies, are you ready? The room is getting hot. It's just getting hotter. Neka says success is not about approval or how loud the world claps for you. It's about clarity, transformation, influence, and being the woman God has called you to be. The only job you have now is grow and not prove anything to anyone. Oh my God. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need. Someone say you don't need the permission. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Just express yourself and be who God has called you to be. Thank you so much, Ineka. That was a powerful one. My goodness, I love the emoji. I love the energy in the room already. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, Victoria says success is not about title. Success is transformation. Success is clarity. Success is being that person God created you to be. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate you all. All right, so we'll be moving next to what we have on the list. This is a powerful session we'll be having next, and the topic is faith as fuel for balance. Faith as fuel for balance. We have an amazing woman in the room, a top global leader. Okay, let me just quickly read her bio. Dr. Donna M. Sherwood has dedicated her life to serving God and humanity. She is an ordained missionary and takes great delight in sharing Jesus Christ with those who need his giving life touch. Her greatest joy is proclaiming the scriptures, whereby she encourages people to build their word upon God's word, since it's the only foundation that can bear the weight of their destiny. Of course. She is the founder and director of Reigning Wonders Transformation Community. She is passionate and committed to equipping women to pursue their personal and professional transformational growth to become the God-ordained version of themselves. She has authored 3 books: The Reigning Woman, My Transformational Journal, and Zoe the Butterfly. She is currently writing the 4th book, which addresses how to still praise God in the midst of pain. Oh my goodness. Ladies, make welcome Dr. Donna Sherwood. Wow. Happy to have you, ma'am.
Can you hear me, everyone?
Absolutely. We can hear you.
Fantastic. May I embrace this opportunity swiftly to convey my gratitude to the hostess and our team, Visionary Florence, as we affectionately call her in the VCAP space. Mine is a pleasure to be here, and I am very grateful for this task to unpack faith as fuel, thriving as a purposeful woman. From yesterday, we have been basking on something oh so beautiful, oh so wonderful, and today we are here. And so the first thought that I would like to share with us all is living without purpose and balance. It causes a woman to live small, become stuck, and she can never, ever fulfill fully our divine call. She can never fully step into our divine call. So today is a date with destiny, and we have to make a choice. We are going to choose purpose and balance. And so we hasten to examine the concept of what is faith. Faith is a dynamic force that shapes our perception, guides our decision, and fuels our journey towards purpose and balance. Faith is not just an idea, a concept out there, but faith is for us to know that there's a dynamic force that is at work. I remember many years ago when I was at Jamaica Theological Seminary, and the computers were not very good at the time. And I was doing this an assignment and everything got wiped off. And I remember being so discouraged. And I'm thinking, you know, when you're writing and you're not writing from a script, you're writing from download and inspiration in the moment. And you're thinking, how am I going to get that back? And I remember the next class I went to, I asked with all the audacity I could muster, anyone has 2 computers that they can lend me one? And I can still remember the response. People were laughing their heads off, as we would put it. But I simply held my ground with my request. And I remember having gone home and pondered, and I'm thinking, okay, Donna, you just have to just get back to the beginning and start the assignment again. The next day, as I was in the library, a friend of mine, I can still remember her name. Her name is Patricia. She came and she called me and she said, Donna, come. And she took me to the boot of her car. And in the boot of her car was the computer that I requested. And not only the computer, but there was printer and there was brand new ink. That's how, when you make those requests in faith, that God shows up, heaven shows up, providence shows up. I should have inquired. Can you see my screen? I should have inquired at the very beginning. Are you hearing me? Can you hear me? I trust that I'm still being heard.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay,
We can hear
fantastic. Okay, thank you. Yes, and so as I said in that example, is the audacity of faith. Faith is dynamic. And so now we're going to share 3 acronyms of the definition for faith. The first one is faith is focused attention in trusting Him. And we know who that Him is. That's God. Balance comes when our attention centers on God rather than on scattering amongst fear and distraction. So that is what faith is. Focused attention in trusting Him. The second one is fully anchored in truth and hope. If we have no hope, faith is one of the things that stabilizes us. It stabilizes the soul by anchoring us firmly in eternal truth and the hope that is found in Christ. That is what faith is. One of the very popular definition of faith in the Bible is that faith is the substance of things hoped for, and is the very evidence of things that are yet to be seen. And here's one of my favorite definition of faith. Fearless action inspired through Him. And it was a fearless action of mine to ask, anyone has 2 computers to lend me one? I got not only the computer to borrow, I got printer and fully sealed new packets of ink. And so as women of purpose, as women who will thrive, a women who will make a difference, a women that, as women that's going to be living in balance, we must have these 3 elements, 3 shades of faith. Focus, attention, and trust in Him, fully anchored in truth and hope, and we must be fearless, action inspired through Him. We're living in times whereby the challenges are real, but with faith in God, with the sense of purpose, with a sense of being on a mission. Our pro coach, Coach DDK, continues to say, where there is a mission, we need no permission. And so it is, our faith must be big and bold We are given a type of faith and audacity of faith when the Spirit of God is in our lives. And so there are different types of faith. And I'm just going to quickly go over this and then go to the emphasis part of today's presentation. There are 7 types of faith. You have the saving faith and you have justifying faith. These are foundational. And so as women, we can't afford to build structures that jets into the sky all the way up like skyscrapers, and the foundation of saving faith isn't there. You're not just feeling justified by faith. And so the function of that is the faith that brings us into relationship with the Creator. We can't afford to climb to the very top of a building and find that we're leaning against the wrong one. And so saving faith, justifying faith. The other faith is working faith. Faith without work is dead. You can't say you want to become a pilot and you've never enrolled in the course that will lead you to be a pilot. Working faith. Faith that expresses itself through love and purposeful action in daily life. Whatever it is that we do, we must know that the faith that we need, it motivates us to service, to obedience, to good works. And as natural fruits of genuine belief, we have to be confident, enduring faith. There are different struggles in women's life, whether it's in parenting, it's whether about being a student, whether it's owning your own business, whether it's living in a particular neighborhood, whether it's facing natural disasters. We saw what happened in Hurricane Melissa recently in the islands in the Caribbean. So there are things that will be difficult, but the faith that we're talking about today is enduring faith. We must have enduring faith. And then there's another category of faith that must be supernatural and maturing. What tripped us up yesterday shouldn't be the thing that tripped us today. In fact, the previous speaker alluded to that what she failed at yesterday in an application for bid shouldn't be the thing that she failed at today. And she's always learning. So it is with maturing faith, miraculous faith, faith that believes confidently for supernatural intervention. Those of you who are hearing my voice this afternoon, what struggle are you going through? Engage the miraculous faith. Engage it. Grow in faith. That is, as we are growing progressively, we are maturing. And the gift of faith, that special spiritual gift given to us sovereignly by God, that in that moment you can exercise your authority, exercise your power, and it empowers the believer. It empowers women to believe beyond natural capabilities. What you think you can't do, you just step into that. Having put your hands in the hands of God and asking for help. We've been told repeatedly, and I am of the belief as well, is that we cannot succeed alone. We can't pursue purpose alone. A purposeful and balanced woman is a life energized by all 7 types of faith. And so it is important for us to know that if there's any faith that is missing from our lives, I'm giving us 30 seconds to just pause and think, do you have saving faith? Do you have justifying faith? Do you have a faith that is willing to work? Number 4, do you have enduring faith? Do you have faith, the miraculous faith? Do you have faith that grows? And do you have the gift of faith? Any one of those that's missing, our foundation is not going to be established. Our life, the purposeful life, there'll be a missing element. But one of the things that is also gracious with God and being in the family is that there's always the ability, always the gift of a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth chance. And today is the day that we can start. So faith as fuel for women's balance. Faith acts as a powerful catalyst, providing 5 essential fuels. It empowers women to achieve and balance and thrive in their purposeful lives. The first one is inner strength. There is this capacity in every human being and definitely in the hearts of women of inner strength. When you would want to give up, But it's not time to give up. We can't give up. We tap into that faith that activates resilience, enabling women to endure hardship without losing hope. This woman in Proverbs 31, it is said of her, she's clothed. Think of yourself being wrapped and clothed nicely with strength and dignity, and she can laugh at days to come. Let us practice that laugh. Let us know that we have inner strength and we can tap into that inner strength. Emotional regulation. We've been told in a very profound manner earlier about emotional intelligence. And so faith calms anxiety. Let's breathe. The news is bad. Oh, the numbers don't look right. But let's breathe. Calms anxiety. Faith calms anxiety and fear by shifting the focus from problems into divine promises. Just remind yourself the purpose for which you live. And so we are told to cast all our cares, all our anxiety upon the God who can carry us. This kind of faith that gives us emotional regulation, it ensures steadiness. It helps women to process emotions through prayer and through trust. Number 3, decision-making clarity. Faith invites divine wisdom into choices. It reduces confusion and regret. James 1 verse 5 says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask. If any man lacks faith, if any man lacks a sense of belief, if any man, the fear is overcoming them, ask. And it will give them a sense of decision-making clarity. Faith also gives us rest and renewal. We can't afford to be running like a headless chicken, as it has been frequently said, in pursuit of purpose. There must come a time, even though we have to work. The next side of faith is work. But we must take what I call the Sheila moments, when we pause and reflect. We renew ourselves. We get adequate sleep. We do self-care. We pause and reflect. It allows women to release the control and rest in God's sovereignty and that he loves you. And the 5th one is purposeful living. Faith, it gives us, it embeds the daily tasks, even the mundane things, the things that you think that, oh, it's just every day we get up and we have breakfast and we get the children ready. These things can be elevated to purposeful living. In your career, in your business, elevated to purposeful living. This is what the conference is all about. That's a vision that has visionary Florence convened this grand event. And here is what I want all of us to do today. We've heard how important faith is in creating balance. Balance in your marriage, balance in your health, balance in your mind, balance in your worship, balance. Faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it is impossible to live the life of purpose. It is not just difficult, it is impossible, because you have to take bold steps. You will be facing a mountain, but you said, mountain, move out of my way. You shall command a thing. And so here is my unique strategy for us to take our temperature, the faith temperature check this afternoon. Faith, high faith, that temperature, and I call the highest level of faith, I call that the future forward faith. That's a faith that is blazing. How is that characterized? It's visionary, it's bold, it's anchored in divine destiny. It masters the present, yet it is invested in eternity. We can live boldly today, but we are looking 10 years, 15 years. That's the kind of a faith. It's a substance of things hoped for, and it's the evidence of things not seen. What is the balance impact of this future forward faith? You live with clarity. Women, we live with clarity, boldness, vision. It thrives with purpose, direction, and spiritual alignment. There isn't anything worth having without spiritual alignment. And so future forward faith is blazing fire. The next temperature check is fervent faith. This faith is fiery, it's passionate, it's prayerful, it's spiritually active, and it's rooted in strong identity in Christ. Not the culture, not the popular culture, and that's how we are modeling our identity, but the identity that is firmly anchored in Christ. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. So this one is fiery. Balance impact. This fiery faith, it fuels spiritual vitality. It lives actively and joyfully with spiritual fire and emotional strength. That's how it balances life. When you think of women having so many hats, so many roles, so many visionary expressions, so many things that we want to become, not only doing. This balance that we're talking about is not only just busy doing and talking about the time and the energy balance. While that is very important, but the balance that we're talking about in terms of faith being that fuel for it is living a life of harmony. The next faith temperature check is the focused faith. This faith is hot. It's unwavering faith. It's faith that looks at the diagnosis and still believe that Jehovah is still a healer. It's the faith that it gives emotional stability. It is steady. It's disciplined. I'll repeat that. Focused faith. It's steady. It's disciplined. It's aligned with God's will. Let's fix our eyes on Christ, the author and the perfecter of our faith. So that's the faith that is focused. There's a text that says, my heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. How does that impact balance in the life of a woman? It brings discipline. It brings clarity. It manages life with wisdom, order, and what is called a fixity of purpose. So if you fall in this high temperature faith, future forward faith, the blazing faith, fervent faith, which is fiery, or focused faith, which is hot, keep on going forward. Keep on going forward. Keep on becoming. Keep on thriving. Keep on living the purposeful life. Keep on keeping on. But there is a category of faith that is also concerning. Those is the faith that falters, is the faith that is lukewarm. That faith is hesitant, is distracted, is riddled with doubt and fears. And it's a faith that needs encouragement to be realigned. And that's why we're here. We're here for realignment. This conference was engineered, it was envisioned by the visionary Florence, and is for us to be realigned. If we know that we are faltering in our faith, and there's so many demands on a woman's life, that there is no shame if we know and recognize that our faith has begun to falter. It says a double-minded man or woman is unstable in all his ways. And this, the impact of a faltering faith, is that it experiences instability and it needs support to regain that sense of balance. Is there any shame in having faltering faith? It's about recognizing where we are, and we go forward with help, go forward in faith, in believing, going back to the scriptures, because that's the source of all faith. The scriptures, read the word, pray, ask for help. And so there is that faith that begins to falter. There are times when life will throw a curveball, it is frequently said, and our faith will wobble. But there's always the opportunity for going forward. There's always, and that is why we live in community, sisters. That's why we live in communities as women. Because today I am down and out, but you are strong and you will stand in the gap with me. And vice versa. Tomorrow I will be the one that is strong and I will help you when you're weak. We can't live this balanced, faith fueled life alone. Flatlined. You know, when you get to that place in life when you flatline, your faith just flatline. You feel spiritually numb, disconnected. You're inactive. That's when some of the times when people give up on their purpose, give up on their dream, walk away. Sometimes complacency, procrastination may set in. How does that impact life and balance? Balance is lost as life drifts without purpose, passion, or direction. We feel disconnected from the vine. But as I've been saying repeatedly, there is no shame, there's no condemnation, there's healing. That's why this conference has been called. There's healing. Every trauma can be healed. Every pain can be mended. There is healing always. And then there is the failing faith. That's when life nosedives. When your life hit below freezing. And sometimes the pain can be coming from faltering faith to flatline faith until it spirals into failing faith. When life feels hopeless, when an individual may become resistant to the truth, to think that I've been living and this is the outcome. But you see, we have been prayed for that our faith may not fail, according to Luke 22. And the balance impact for failing faith is that lives become disconnected. There's chaos in life. Order goes out the door. Peace goes out the door. And this is when we need urgent intervention. If you are grateful for the community that you're in, say, I am grateful in the chat, wherever you are. Put that in the chat. I am grateful for community. I am grateful for family. I am grateful for friends. And if we are in the faltering faith, if our temperature is at the faltering faith, if we're lukewarm, if our temperature check, the faith temperature check is if we flatline and we feel frozen inside. Sometimes, we can dress and look beautiful and there's always a place for that. But sometimes we're on the inside, there is ice. And if our faith feel like it's failing, be encouraged. You are never beyond God's grace and his reach. Be encouraged. The sisterhood is here. Be encouraged. And so your faith temperature matters. Understanding where you are on the faith thermometer isn't about condemnation, as I've been saying repeatedly. It's about compassionate assessment and intentional growth towards divine balance. Remember, God meets you exactly where you are. Whether you are thriving at future forward faith or failing faith or all the in-betweens, his grace is sufficient. And transformation is always possible through Christ. Transformation is possible as we are intentionally growing. Faith as fuel means allowing God's truth to empower every area of your life. Your motherhood, your marriage, your friendship, your business, your ministry, your community endeavors. It's that thing on the inside that we are energized by. A fuel ignites. Faith as fuel ignites. It awakens. It nourishes. It energizes the soul. And so faith as fuel means we must allow God and this truth and the different communities that we find ourselves in to help us as we walk forward to bring balance, peace, purpose, because we are we were created to experience these things. And so it's really one of those important tool in the life of purposeful women is faith.
Amazing. Thank you. Hmm. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Thank you so
thank you,
much.
thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Okay, ladies, it's been an amazing journey. It's been awesome listening to Dr. Donna, and a lot has been said about faith. And I believe you can't fulfill purpose without faith, because faith is a vital, part of purpose. You can't, fulfill purpose without faith. So you must exercise faith. You must understand faith. And she said a lot of things. And I could see some of the nuggets up already. Victoria said, God meets you exactly where you are, and that's it. He meets you where you are, at the point at which you are. God meets us there, and it's been such an amazing session. Thank you so much, Ma. Also, if you have a comment, kindly drop it on the comment section. Yeah, our technical team will take note of that and collate the questions. So your questions should keep rolling, keep rolling. Please, we're still having a great time. Thank you so much, Dr. Donna. Thank you. All right. So we are still moving next. We still have a lot of things to do today. We're not ending this session yet, ladies. We're not ending this session yet. And there is so much to learn, so much to learn from these amazing experts. And yeah, it's been an amazing time, really. Are you having a swell time? Can I get some comments in the comment section? How has it been for you so far? Are you really learning? Are you learning, ladies? All right, so next on my list is we'll be focusing on building God-centered relationships. Very interesting. Building God-centered relationships, because I believe that in life we don't do life alone. We are relational beings, and so therefore it is essential that we build relationships. You can't fulfill purpose without people, without relationships. To be honest, I love the build up of this topic so far, and I'll be calling up an amazing woman for this session to come, journey with us through. And all right, so ladies, are you ready? Are you ready to receive her? Such an amazing woman. Okay. Oluwafunke Arigbangba. He is a clinical educator, entrepreneur, author, and community leader focused on healthcare, education, and women's empowerment. Born in Lagos, Nigeria, she began her nursing career and earned a postgraduate certificate in education from the University of Bolton. Currently, she is pursuing a master's in digital health at the University of Central Lankan. In 2004, she founded the Skillset Consulting Limited, connecting trainers with learners and healthcare organizations in the UK, while also supporting care homes. Its Skillsets Foundation drives empowerment initiatives. In 2025, she established Excel Health, promoting preventive care for chronic illness in Africa through AI predictive analysis. As a respected mentor and author, Oluwafunke writes on healthcare and personal development. She leads her church women's ministry. And mentors teenagers. Mother of three, her faith and family. Please make welcome. Okay. Arigbangba. I hope I pronounced it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's always a case of being more that when it comes to my last name, but thank you. You did justice to that.
Pardon me.
That's fine. I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is you're joining from. Yes, as she rightly said, Melody, my name is Oluwafunke, but I like to be called Funke. And I just want to first of all appreciate all the amazing speakers that has spoken on this platform both yesterday and today. And it's also a privilege to to have shared the stage with my pro coach PDDK, which she obviously spoke last yesterday, and some other visionaries that has gone ahead to speak. And today, without wasting much time, I'm going to put on my timer because I know we've talked about excellent and I can be very chatty. So I just want to put myself under, some level of control by exhibiting that excellence. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about building a God-centered relationships. A lot of things have been said, and I know that one thing that has actually come out quite very vivid and very constant is relationship, the power of people, the power of the people you work with, companionships, right? And that's to let us know that that's to inform us that relationship in the life of a purposeful woman is very vital, right? So in other words, it then means that for us to be able to fulfill purpose in life, we must ensure that our relationship is in alignment to that which God has called us into, right? So, whilst I'm waiting for my slides to come up, I just wanted to let us know that when it comes to purpose I've come to realize that it's not actually discovered, it is uncovered. And I will say that again. Purpose is not really discovered, it is uncovered. And why do I say that? Having gone through the journey of growth, especially personal growth, something that has come quite very strong to me, being under the mentorship and coaching of our pro coach DDK, is the fact that most of the things that she exposes my mind to has been things that has been happening before now that I have not just taken attention or have not, some sort of put some level of attention towards it. So when I talk about uncovering your purpose, I talk about things about what you're passionate about. I talk about things that gives your heart, makes your heart leaps, things that, makes you feel so burdened, so restless, right? I talk about things that, it's something that you just enjoy, it's of interest to you. So all these things are patterns that are pointers of towards your purpose. So it actually a pay forward investment that God has deposited inside of you that you then need to walk into the journey of transformation. Like the way onions is that you begin to peel it out to be able to really, really uncover that which has been deposited and then nurture it. Now, the nurturing part is what is bringing me into the place of building godly relationship. When it comes to nurturing, we know that a seed is always a seed, regardless of how much potential it has to become a fruitful vine, right? Until it is planted in the right place. And that is what God-centered relationship is actually all about. God-centered relationships are a buffer, right? They are like propellers. They propel you towards the divine, direction that God has called you into. So it is very important. And I really want to say this, that it hurt me so bad that people really don't pay attention to their relationships as much as they pay attention to every other things in their life, maybe finances, maybe, family, maybe children, we don't. Forgetting that one of the most important, will I say, in terms of, one of the speakers mentioned it yesterday when she was talking about the different types of wealth, right? She talks about spiritual wealth. And then she mentioned the next one, which is relational wealth. That is to tell you the gravity of what your relationships as in the journey of your purpose, in the journey of your destiny. So I really, really want us after this call to take back this, learnings and wealth of wisdom that has been deposited inside of us and begin to put the intention that has brought us into this meeting into implementation. Very important. It is key that one of the major wealth that is transferable, that is some sort of transgenerational pattern is your relationships. Yes. And I will give you an example from the Bible. If you remember David and Jonathan had a good relationship with David. He got his back. He helped him. He protected him from Saul, right? And where did Jonathan reap that blessings? It was from the son Mephibosheth, right? That is how you know that relationship are transgenerational. Relational in wealth are transgenerational wealth that you really want to start paying attention to, right? Okay, so I'm not sure I can see the screen quite very well, but what I would do is to just bring it out on my second screen while I discuss it, if that's okay. Permit me to just put it out here. Right, okay, so am I still very audible and visible? Please just put in the chat for me, please. Might not be able to actually see the chat, right? Okay, so when we talk about building relationship, okay, if you zoom that for me, okay, I want us to know that relationship is not really actually built, it is attracted. Yes, you attract the kind of the relationship you want by who you are becoming. So you attract who you become. And that is why it is of utmost importance that you find yourself first before belonging in a relationship. So it's all about becoming before belonging. Do we agree to that? Because you cannot be able to align your relationship with the people you want in the relationship if you don't understand what your core values read. What are the things that you stand for? Because when you know what you stand for, you then can be able to bring the people that has what it takes to stand with you. When you stand for something, you know who are the people that will stand with you for what you stand for, right? So I want us to ask, I'm asking us this question: do we agree that it is not just about building a relationship, it is about attracting the right one, right? And attracting the right one, as you know, it's attracting the right one has to do with you identifying what exactly I want to be attracted to, what exactly I want to be attracted for, right? You don't attract who you want, you attract who you become. I've mentioned this before. And when it comes to God-centered relationship, it is less about our feelings and more about purpose and character. And can I just really dwell a bit on these feelings? I know we are purposeful women. I know we are women of, intention and attention. And I really want us to begin to understand that when it comes to godly relationships, we cannot over emotionalize things. We cannot say, oh, because, I've known her since my secondary school days. So having to reduce the amount of assets I have towards her or she has towards me might make them feel like I'm proud. See, the truth is who you are in your secondary, who you are at your secondary school age is not the same as who you are right now, because it's a journey of transformation. You have come from one level of transformation to another level of transformation. You have left one level of version of you to another version of you. And those your secondary school relationships are still looking at you from the old version of who you are. And that is why they cannot understand the kind of attributes that you bring into the relationship anymore. And that is why the moment you begin to see frictions happening in your relationships, the moment you begin to see that things are not aligned, the words, the language you both speak are not coherent with who you are becoming or who you have become, there is a need for you to begin to audit that relationship. There is a need for you to begin to ask yourself questions. To what degree of value is this relationship adding to me? Right? So I really want us to be more strategic and intentional in building our relationship, our God kind of relationship, than, taking it from the place of feelings and emotions. Then the next thing is, so how do I attract the right relationship? Before godly relationship, there must be what? A godly individual. Do we agree to that? You have to be a woman centered around God to be able to attract those attributes of God. You have to have the understanding of what God's attributes are to be able to say, yes, I can see that, I can reflect that, I can see that reflected in this kind of in this person. So this person, obviously, we are in alignment, or we have the same core values, right? So before a godly relationship, there must be a godly individual. Building relationships, so keeping God at the center. The first thing you want to be able to build a godly relationship is to keep God at the center. You need to seek God first. You need to understand what are the core values of a godly individual. What it is that is of utmost importance, of priority to God. Begin to identify those attributes, those values, those character. And by doing for you to be able to do that, you then need to have a relationship with God himself. You can't know someone until you have a relationship with that person, right? So seeking God first, as Matthew 6:33 says, praying with discernment and not just attraction. Praying with discernment, not with sentiment. A lot of times our relationships are filled with drama and sentiment. Enough of that. For you to build a godly relationship, you have to come from the place of discernment and not for the same place of sentiment. Let God define who, when, and how. And like I said here, when God writes your love story, it brings purpose and not just a person. When you allow God to be the center of your of your becoming, it brings the purposeful people that would help you, the people that will lift you, your lifters, your connectors, those that are there to hold your hands and not just an ordinary person. Right? So becoming first, like I said, the first one is being at God centered, right? Being in the center of being in the midst of God, being centered in God. That's the word. The second one is becoming. The next thing is, I want us to ask, okay, knowing your identity in Christ, like we said. Next thing that brings about becoming is self-awareness. You must have a good understanding of who you are, what you carry inside of you, so that you can be able to attest that the person that is coming into my life has the same mindset, has the same attributes, has the same value as who I am and who I am becoming and where I am going. So who you are becoming is as important as where you are belonging to. Who you are becoming is as important as where you belong to or where you are belonging to. Right. So who are you becoming? A reflective questions that I really want us to look at. Who are you becoming? The first one is, what define me when no one is watching? I want us to sit down, write this question, and go back and really delve into it. What defines you when no one is watching? What are your top 3 values? Do your habits reflect the kind of person you want to attract? If you're able to dissect all these questions, it will give you a better understanding of exactly the kind of environment, the kind of relationship, the kind of companionship that you want to build. That is what becoming can do. And like I said, becoming precede belonging. I've said that before. Becoming precede belonging. Another thing is alignment of value. What exactly do I mean by alignment of value? Yes, alignment of values is relationship that thrive in when the values aligns, right? Relationship thrives when the values align, but it dies when the values conflicts. Do we agree to that? When you see 2 tires under a car that is attached to the car, and you notice that one of them is becoming flat, what do you begin to see? You begin to see that misalignment when you're driving. The car is just swaying around. That is what happens when your value system does not align with the kind of relationship you find yourself. The Bible says, can 2 work together except they agree? There must be some level of foundational agreement between you and the people that you find yourself. So these are things that I really want us to begin to audit. Are there some value system that connects me and this person in this relationship or in this community that I find myself? Misalignment would always continually lead to friction. So another thing you want to look at is the moment you find that there is a bit of misalignment in language, in thought, in speech, in a conversation, in the relationship you find yourself, then you want to begin to check. Am I still in the God purpose relationship, or am I just allowing my emotion to drive my decisions around my relationship? Shared vision will always bring about shared peace. We know that already. The moment you have the same mindset, the same vision, the same dreams, you're seeing the same thing, you see yourself thriving in the place of peace. Right? So next slide. Quickly. Right. Okay. So you must be relationally intelligent. This is very important. And like I said, a lot of us, I think because as women, we are wired emotionally. We tend to, tilt more into using our emotion to justify our relationships. But I want you to now, going forward, be very intelligent about your approach to your relationship, knowing fully well that relationship or relational wealth is a transgenerational wealth. So it's a wealth that will outlast you, right? So let's come out of the place of sentiment. When you know that the version of you that your friends, that you'll find yourself, or the community will find yourself, no longer serve the new version that you are, it is time for you to say bye in a very polite way and welcome the new version of you and the new community of you. And that's why having this kind of community that is founded and visioned by visionary Florence is a community you really want to find yourself rooted in, because like I said to you, seeds it will only remain a seed until they find the right community, the right ground. So Purposeful Women platform is a platform that would help you to nurture the seed that you have in you, to help you uncover the purpose. Remember, purpose is uncovered, not discovered. Right. Okay. And then in conclusion, centered relationship, what do I say? It means God first. So you have to put God first. You have to find yourself in God. You have to have a good relationship with your Father. You have to align with what God aligns with you. You have to understand your essence or purpose of your existence. Becoming self-awareness, identity, very important. Who you are determines who comes and who walk along with you. Alignment, you have to ensure that your value system is aligned in the relationship that you find yourself, and you have to have a relational wisdom. Right. Lastly, I would just say, I want us to just reflect on this question. And I just want to bring it out from here. Basically, I really want you to ask yourself, I want us, because when we come to conferences like these and we hear a lot of speakers, we hear a lot of nuggets, we are always, our adrenaline is high way up at the ceiling, and we are so excited because new learnings, new understanding, new neural pathway has been formed. But the question is always the case of, what action are you going to put into practice immediately? So my last question to you is to go back with this and say, take time and examine the circle of your relationships. And you can start with your contact numbers. Go through your contact numbers, write out their names. And on the other side of it, I want you to ask each of this name, what evidence of God's value and purpose is present in this connection? Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Lady Florence. That was a powerful session. Thank you. We are grateful. Wow, ladies, we are blessed to have such women in the house. Oh my God. I mean, I'm really excited because I'm really learning. My notepad, like I said, it's filled up. So much to learn. Thank you so much, Lady Funke. And the quite a lot of things that stood out for me, And I love the part where you said that purpose is not actually discovered but uncovered. That struck a chord so much. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's true. It's not really discovered but uncovered, really. And it made me start thinking deeply about, how we see purpose, how, I envision my relationship with people. I started thinking really deeply, and I love the part where he said alignment of values. Relationship thrives when values are aligned. Your relationships cannot thrive when the values does not align. So don't stress it. Don't stress yourself. Thank you so much, Lady Fulke. It's such an honor to have you with us. And
Thank you so much.
Lady Florence said, center God first. Become self-aware and become self-awareness and identity align values. That's just it. That's it. When you become self-aware, identity, align values, you just become an amazing person and begin to see things working out for you and things begin to make so much sense. Thank you so much. Ladies in the house, do we have questions for her? Do we have? Drop your comments, drop your questions on the comment box. Let me see it rolling. Let me see it rolling. We're not done yet. No, we're not done yet. We aren't done yet. I love this so far. I'm enjoying every bit. What a beautiful way to spend the Sunday. And right about now, we'll be going into another beautiful session, ladies. We'll be going into today is for us. Don't worry. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy. We're here to drink, to wine, to dine. We had to enjoy every bit of this session. It's been specially prepared for us. All right. So once again, don't forget, kindly just share the links and then join the academy if you haven't joined in yet. So yes. Are we ready to receive this woman? Ladies, let me see the emojis. Let me see the reactions. Let me see the comments rolling. Let me see it. Let me feel it. Are we ready? Like, are you ready? Ask someone beside you. Are you ready? Like, are you really ready? Okay. So, we'll be going down into the power of works in nurturing strong bonds. The power of works in nurturing strong bonds. That means strong bonds doesn't work automatically. It's intentional, right? We have to be intentional about that. So yeah. Next on my list is a beautiful woman. Nancy Olisakwe is the convener of Smart Nation, a purpose-driven platform empowering women and girls through its 3 transformative pillars: self-worth, net worth, and network. A Stanford-trained leader, Bayers Business School alumni, City University of London, and Lagos Business School graduate. Nancy combines global insights with business. Nancy combines global insights with a deep passion for empowering others to lead with purpose and impact. With over a decade of experience in enterprise and commodity development, she has supported over 500,000 smallholder farmers and development. Over 500 farmers and 85,000 investors across Africa, advancing inclusive growth and strengthening value chains. A 2 times MasterCard business mentor under the Build and Idea tracks. She guides emerging leaders to structure and scale their businesses sustainably. Nancy also mentors with the Global Mentorship Initiative and partners with the Vital Voices and Abdulwasiu Alimai Leadership and Mentorship Academy to champion women and youths in leadership, personal effectiveness, customer service, and financial intelligence. Ladies, make welcome Lady Nancy Olisakwe. Happy to have you.
I'm telling you, I've been waiting for this moment the whole time. It's
my
quite a
goodness.
privilege. Please, thank you so much for having me. I've been listening to all the wonderful speakers from yesterday till today. In fact, they've laid the foundation for my presentation. Just makes life easy for me. Thank you for the lineup. Thank you, Madam Florence, for carefully choosing the topics and arranging them in such a way that we can really understand the importance of having really good relationships and also having faith-based relationships. Thank
Why do
you.
you look so beautiful?
Thank you so much, Elo. Thank you. I'm blushing. That's the power of words. I will be talking this evening about the power of words in nurturing bonds. And just the way she just complimented me, those are some of the words that actually help to build bonds. How do you talk to people? Have you been speaking with people as though they are nothing or less? We'll be talking about that. We'll be discussing all the important areas that you need to know and how your words are power. In Genesis chapter 1, God said, "Let there be." He gave a commandment, that actually led to the creation of the world. Words are powerful. And do you know something beautiful about words? They don't cost anything, yet they change everything. Words are very, very, you can just pick any words from the dictionary, but then how you use it determines the impact it has on people. I know we have friends, we have loved ones, we have colleagues. We could be leaders, we could be wives, we could be managers, we could be just friends. But we need to be reminded that words can cost nothing, but to the other person, how you say it will determine if you can change everything. So as we begin this session, let's be mindful of our words. I was looking through the definition of purposeful woman, and it has a lot to do with intentionality. We need to be very, very intentional as to the words we use in our communication. Is it to our kids? Is it even to ourselves? How intentional are we about the words we use in to ourselves? How intentional are we about the words we use to our kids? How intentional are we about the words we use in our friendships? How do we build bonds instead of creating bridges? So one word can actually melt tension, but a harsh word, can actually harden hearts. Are you actually using soft words that actually makes people to want to relate with you, or are you talking to people in condescending ways? You make them feel less of themselves. As I was preparing for a particular event some time ago, I took out time, preparing for the event. But then when I got to the event location, someone just looked at me, and then the next thing, the only thing that came out of the person's mouth is like, "Are you okay?" The way the person said it, like, "You look so sick." I felt so bad because all the effort I put into getting ready and making sure I show up my best version, really went down the drain. So how are you showing up in the lives of the people that actually matter around you? I've seen people lose love. I've seen people lose friendship. I've even seen people lose peace in the process of using the wrong word, not because they lacked care, but because they lacked gentle language. And some people would say, "Oh, it's tough love and all." Sometimes we'll say things that we feel is just spur of the moment, and then it sticks with people for their entire life. In Proverbs 18, the Bible says, "Life and death is in the power of the tongue." So we need to be very, very intentional about how we use the words that we actually communicate with people. Are you letting people, even if you're giving people feedback, are you giving them feedback in such a way that they don't feel as though they are losers? Are you giving them feedback in such a way they feel that you're not the only one who has the keys to heaven? How are you giving feedback to other people such that they feel as though you are a part of their journey, not as though you are an enemy? So words have power. Words can actually make or mar things. Words can build bridges, or they can actually create walls. How are your words actually impacting the people around you? You need to know that every word means that we actually say it either plants life or it poisons connection. Are your words actually planting life in people, or are they creating poison connections? Ask yourself, what are your words? What fruits are your words producing in the relationship you are right now? When I got married some 14 years ago, I didn't really understand these things. And then, I could just say things anyhow, because I would just like, oh, ask questions as if I'm the Lord and master of the house. I didn't care about the emotions of my partner and all. But with time, I got to understand that though the way I was communicating sometimes is not even the words, is the way I was saying it. So we'll be talking briefly about how the words we speak, the tone with which we speak, actually impacts our relationship. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to use the nicest words as much as we can. So we need to keep trying what works, and to keep improving on our tone and our consistency. The tone is actually a different element of the word. If I ask you now, are you okay? It sounds like I really care. But if I say, are you okay? Even from the expression on my face, and the tone with which I say it would actually indicate if I really meant it, or I'm actually being insultive, or I'm actually caring. So tone alone is actually very, very important, but we'll talk about it in a deeper level shortly. So we'll be talking about also the timing. At what time do you have discussions? Someone is just coming maybe from a trip, the person is exhausted, the person is going through a lot emotionally. You're not, the other speakers had talked about emotional intelligence and all. The power of emotional intelligence will help improve the quality of your words. If you have the right words and you're not emotionally intelligent towards what the person is saying, you may lose out, and your words may become may become weapons. Your words will become weapons when you don't use it in the right timing. There's a story of a man. He talked about the impact of, in fact, he had a crush, when he was in school. He really loved the girl so much. So this particular day, it was costume day in school, and he decided to dress as a bunny. He decided to dress as Bugs Bunny. As he wore the dress of Bugs Bunny, he came into the school. He was feeling so excited, citing his crush. He began to feel the butterflies in his tummy. Wow, I'm going to impress today. And then she just said to him, did you dress like Bugs Bunny? And then he was like, yes, I did. And what do you think about it? He's like, of course, with your big, she just told him, with your big teeth, your big large teeth, in front. And the way she described it, she crushed his emotion, she crushed his spirit, she crushed his ego, everything about him. The words she said lived with him for another decade. He would not smile in pictures. He would not even want to open his teeth anymore because of the way she described it. Your large, large ugly tooth. The way she described it really crushed his spirit. So we really need to know that the people that are in our circle, could be our friends, could be our children, could be our colleagues. The things we say to them actually means a lot, and how we say it is very, very important. What are not empty sounds? They are containers of power. Every word we speak either creates or destroys. It either heals or it harms. The thing is, I've seen a lot of couples, the marriages go, they decide to divorce, or they go their separate ways because their words got out of control. He's talking, you're talking, you want to match his emotion, or you have two beautiful maybe ladies, they are friends, they've been friends for years, they are having great relationship, but then because they turn their relationship and conversations into a battlefield, they want to the other party wants to be the winner, the other one wants to be the winner. Before you know, you will win the discussion, but you will lose the relationship. So we have to be very, very careful because of how we say the words. We can be careful with our words such that we don't just win just the conversation and the person never wants to talk to us again. There's something called yes and, if I don't agree with somebody's position, I can always say, oh yes, this thing you've said, and we can also add this other thing to it. Oh, you love Zobo, and we can add maybe Fanta to it. You don't need to always try to be the winner in the conversation, because honestly, you can win the conversation and the other party will never want to have anything to do with you. So I've also seen leaders who lose influence because of how they spoke to their teams. They crush the spirit of the team. You no longer have maybe any form of loyalty anymore, because you always want to be, the in charge. You always want to be the one who knows better. You crush the spirit of those who report to you. It's very, very important that as leaders too, we need to be very, very careful. Even ministry leaders sometimes are not left out of it in their bids to correct the members of their community. They say too many harshful words. There are ways you can talk to people, and you will never make them feel less of themselves. There was one time I was a QA in a call center. We would listen to the calls. When we finish listening to the calls, we would have the members come sit with us. Even if I rate your call 0/100, the way I will explain the sequence for you, the tone with which I will use to explain it to you, you also would feel I should even take extra marks from you, because honestly, the lessons are taken, and I'm not talking to them from the angle of they failed. I'm also telling them what they can do, to do better, and how I can support them. So as leaders, or as let me say, as coaches, or wherever we see ourselves or find ourselves in position of leadership or position of friendship, we need to bear in mind that it is not that we've figured it out, but then we can also help build the relationship to the next level. But even I, at some point, have had scenarios maybe that I've said things that are out of place. But the truth is, like the other speaker point in time, that whatever you did before, you improve on it. If you've maybe said something maybe hurtful to maybe I just maybe mistakenly tell my child, are you all right? Or I say maybe a hurtful word to them, I make it a resolution never to repeat it again. I make it a resolution to ensure that I've learned from this mistake, and I'm going to grow in this area, and I will never use these hurtful words anymore. We must also submit our words to the Lord and let the Spirit refine our tone, because there are times whereby because we move by our own emotions, we sometimes get to the point where we say things that are out of control. Also, there's this saying by Maya Angelou, that people don't remember what you say, they remember how your words made them feel. I'm seeing Dr. Donna, the way she presented. I really love the way she presented. And most importantly, I love that headgear. I'm coming to learn how to tie that headgear. The way we actually encounter people, the way we make them feel, very, very important. And honestly, not just saying it out of sheer need to say. You need to say it in such a way that is coming from your heart. Be sincere. When you say beautiful things about people, they don't forget about you. There's a colleague of mine, whenever she calls, she just say, "Hi, gorgeous." Even if I'm in the state of mind that I am not able to talk to her, I can tell her, "Please, I'll call you back," because the way she addresses me, I always want to give her the best. So let's also imbibe the spirit of actually complimenting people sincerely. It helps to break the barrier and helps to improve connection. You're able to build relationships better. you know there are many. You need to also ask yourself, how many relationships have cracked, not because of action but because of what was said. You can have relationships ongoing, but just one thing you say, the person just holds it to mind. So, and that brings me to the next point. I'll be talking about the 4 T's of powerful communications. Our words, like I've said, has power. It has power to inspire, it has power to motivate, it has power to even challenge people to become better versions of themselves. But those same words can actually crush a destiny. Those same words can actually also cost us relationship. It can cost someone even his life, because I've known people who will say, oh, I can't survive this anymore. This person that I trusted so much said this to me. That means there's no one on this earth that is on my side. So we need to be very, very sensitive to the words that we say, you know. Now let's go back to the 40s. Are we talking about the tone, the timing, also I'll be talking about the tone, I'll be talking about the timing, I'll be talking about text, the word itself, and then the truths. Now the first thing I'm talking about is the tone. When you're talking to someone, like I said earlier, how you say it will determine how the person interprets it. It reveals your heart, because the Bible says that out of the abundance of your heart that the mouth speaketh. It reveals if you're truly a caring person or not. But I think that even the Bible says that a gentle answer turns away anger. Someone comes to you and the person is raging, showing all sense of anger, and then you now say, oh, you look so great today. This, and you need to just calm down a bit. Let's talk about it. The way you talk to the person, you just be like, oh, the person will just calm down and want to also have a dialogue with you. But then when you want to show the person that my power is more than yours with the words you're speaking, you may lose the person and the situation might escalate. So let's learn to use very calm tones when we're talking, and try to build bridges and not use sharp tone to build walls. You need to ask yourself, does my tone sound like peace or does it sound like pride? Are you using condescending words? Are you using condescending tone? And there's another thing you need to also notice that um when you're using your words, the expression with which you use to say the things also matters. So your word is actually maybe 93% of the conversation, but your expression is another 7%. So you need to ensure that your expression and the words also goes hand in hand. And I'll also talk about the timing. You need to sometimes say, okay, can we talk about this later, because the tempo is so high right now. I would like for us to think about it carefully. I would like us to digest this matter, or you can say, please, I don't think this is the right time for us to have this discussion. Like I also said, someone is probably going through a tough time. That's where emotional intelligence come in. When it comes to timing, you need to use your emotional intelligence to now check. Like I always tell my staffs in the office that there are times that I don't go to my boss to discuss anything at all, because I can see that he's had either a rough day, I can see he's either gone through a lot, or maybe someone has actually spoiled his day. You need to be emotionally smart to know, oh, this is not the right time, because even if you're going to say the right words at the wrong timing, the impact is not the same. So wisdom actually waits for a calm before there's correction. Even if you have something to say that is right, you don't say it when everything is like the tempo is high, everyone is not happy. So the truth said at the wrong time becomes a weapon. Don't let your word to become a weapon. You need to ask yourself, is this the right time, or am I just trying to be right? And if you're trying to be right, it means that you're most likely to lose this conversation. You may win the conversation, but you may lose the relationship. Then the text too. Yes, we need to use the words that are healing. When it comes to text, I'm referring to the words we are using. You need to negative words with positive words. You need to remove. There's an author that says you need to let the pigs out and let the pearls in. You need to let trouble out and let peace come in. You need to ask yourself, would I want to hear these things said to me? If the word is, even if you're sending someone a message and you see that the message sounds so high, or it sounds so maybe irritating, you need to take your time and maybe calm down before you actually send the message. And which is why sometimes they'll say, when you're sending an email or you're conversing with somebody, don't use bold letters, don't use red fonts. Those are some of the things that shows that you're angry. So sometimes you need to calm down and talk. Then the last element is the truth, You need to speak your truth with grace to help ask question instead of asking making statements. You need to ask questions. There's something called the beginner's mind. If you see, the beginner's mind reflects to how a child thinks. You need to find a way to listen, and that's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because we are supposed to listen double the time we are talking. So we need to be very, very attentive and listen to people before we talk. Try not to talk more than the other person when you're having relationship, because like I said, the tone of your conversation is actually very important, but these other elements are also very, very important. Like we've said before, that our words are seeds. Let's plant life every day. And like I said, let's compliment freely. Victoria, thank you so much for always taking notes of the nuggets. And then let's encourage constantly. If you're in a relationship, you can let the person know that I can see you're working so well, you've done harder things, I've seen that you've accomplished this. Compliment people. Express gratitude. Thank you so much for showing up for this webinar. Those are some of the ways you can appreciate people. Thank you so much for showing up for my event. And then you can also send messages of love. As friends also, you can have like an affirmation jar that helps you to have words and notes where you can share weekly with the people that you really care about. And also let the people know that you're proud of them. Those are some of the way. And always applaud when people, they say, like, and there's a quote that says, okay, I will keep clapping for others until it's my turn. Appreciate other people. There's a way you can build and heal and strengthen other people with the words you speak. So I have a lot more to say, but then I would like to reference one of the last quotes that I have, that a wise woman builds her house with her words, but a foolish woman tears it down. So let's let go of maybe some of the bad words or the bad things that have been said to us in the past. Maybe we grew up from maybe toxic homes. You need to let those words go out. The only reason why you are saying hurtful things to people is because your vocabulary of love is limited. You need to replace those hurtful words with more rich words in your vocabulary. Find more loving words. Hello, you've done a wonderful work, instead of saying or always complaining about what hello does. So in all, words can actually start wars, or build homes, but you need to choose to be a builder. As a purposeful woman, you need to be very, very intentional about the words that you are speaking. We pray also that as we go through this webinar and having learned all the things, we try to practicalize all the learnings. We pray that our words will heal hearts, that our words will restore peace and nurture every bond with the people we meet and we speak to, because today we've learned that our word can actually make or mar our relationships. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. That was a great session. That was a great session. Thank you so much. And I love the example you gave. I mean, I just gave a compliment. I didn't even know that you would actually use it as an example into what you'll be talking about. That was so intelligent. I mean, I was like, oh, I have to steal this from you. So I went next and we're speaking engagement. I might adapt that kind of technique. Thank you so much. You were so practical and real,
Thank
so
you.
relatable, right? Because you made us to understand that in building bond, you have to use your words correctly. Your tone matters, the way you speak to people. Yeah, Lady Florence said, powerful session. Absolutely powerful. Thank you so much once again. All right, we would have stayed long enough, to keep talking, but then because we're run out of time, and I'll just be moving next to what we have for the day. Well, we have come to the end of this session, but not the end, right? Not the end entirely. We're wrapping up. So we're wrapping up. And the next person I will be calling, guys, This is a woman of vision, a woman of purpose. We all call her Purpose. That's the name we call her. I know quite a lot of you already have a clue of the person I will be reading her bio. She is an amazing woman, a mother as well, someone who loves God, someone who loves giving value. I mean, we are here because of her. We are here because of the vision. We are here because she said yes to this vision. All right, so I'll be reading her bio quickly. Florence Omomere is a seasoned program manager and business development professional with extensive experience in designing, managing, and implementing high impact programs that empower entrepreneurs and strengthen small and medium enterprises across Nigeria. As the head of organizations and programs at Women Enterprise Alliance, WENA, Florence leads strategic initiatives focused on capacity building, access to finance, and business growth for female-led enterprises. She has successfully coordinated high-scale projects, stakeholder partnerships, and entrepreneurship training programs that promote innovation, structure, and sustainability with the SME system. Beyond her role at WENA, Florence is the founder of the Purposeful Woman Network, a transformative mentorship and empowerment community dedicated to helping women discover their purpose, gain clarity, and fulfill that divine potential. Through this network, she provides mentorship, faith-based coaching, and personal development programs that inspire women to leverage their gifts, talents, and knowledge to create impact-driven lives and businesses. Driven by her passion for women's economic empowerment and personal transformation, Florence is committed to helping business owners build sustainable structures that drive long-term growth and to build guiding women toward purposeful, value-driven living. She also serves as a mentor to emerging entrepreneurs, helping them transform their ideas into scalable ventures that contribute meaningfully to their communities. Ladies, make welcome the one and only, the mover, the shaker, the beautiful Lady Florence Omomere. Please, ladies, let me feel the emojis in the room. Let me see the comments. Rolling. Let's make welcome. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melody. Your voice is, I can listen to your voice on and on forever. I like it. There's this melodious voice. I think that's why they called it Melody, because when they gave that to you, you're crying though when you're coming out was so sweet. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. It's in short, I'm very honored and humbled that a gathering of purposeful women are here, and it's a vision that I have envisioned for so many years, and it's good for you to, when your vision comes to life, you see it batten that vision, and you have the gifts of men. One thing I normally ask God for is to give me the gift of men. That is why I do not joke with my relationship currency. Yes, there's something that I am know that I'm wealthy in is my relationship. So I have great wealthy relationship currency with amazing women. I want to start appreciating all the speakers that have spoken, from Blossom to Betty Hines, from Betty Hines to Dr. Donna. Oh, my beloved Dr. Donna, from Oluwa Funto. Wow, I'll come to your office. You teach me how you made that $200 million. And from Oluwafunto to Funke. Funke is my love. I really appreciate you. And also to Nancy. Nancy, you are spot on. You know you're always in my corner. Thank you so much. Thank you also for all our audience listening. Thank you, Madam Olushola. Yes, thank you so much, Mommy, for joining us here. I just wanted kind of round up this session 10 minutes. I just want 10 minutes of your time. I'm in a season where I don't know. God is really upholding me this season. It has been a very beautiful season. Yes, let me use the word because the power of words is very good at this season. And there has been a lot of limitations that I've seen that purposeful women normally have when they want to chase purpose, when they want to uncover purpose. And I'm going to talk about seven limitations about seven limiting belief system why purposeful women kind of do not achieve their purpose. First of all, I want to let every woman here know that you carry value, and the value that you carry is tied to your purpose, right? But your purpose cannot flourish in a mind held captive by one limitation. So your mind first is your greatest asset. So whatever you're doing, you need to know that your mind is your greatest asset, and what you believe you become. So in becoming that purposeful woman, you need to understand that you need to start changing some limiting mindset. And if you do not evolve into changing that limiting mindset, you won't get what you want. Like, you won't achieve that purpose. You will be burnt out. You'll be frustrated. I can remember, I think it was saying, I think Funke was talking about relationship in secondary school, right? Yes, we have secondary school friends, people that have they went with us in secondary school, and you have grown, but they are looking at you with that mindset. And for instance, I don't to like blame any of my secondary school friends, but I have the secondary school friends, like, she comes into my DM anytime, every day, looking for urgent K. I have given her courses, I have given her, introduced her to a lot of platform. Okay, I can't be giving you money all the time, but let me kind of equip you, give you something that you grow, and rise. As I'm growing, you can grow. But that mindset has limited her to that urgent 2K. So whenever I send her, like, okay, do this course, or let me pay for a program for you, let me pay for a tech course, let me pay for a mentorship course, she'll attend the course, but she won't implement. But all of a sudden, she'll come back and ask you, Florence, please, now, you're a best friend in secondary school. Please, I need 2K, I need 5K. When I was praying, the last one that happened, I was so vexed in my spirit. The Holy Spirit just told me, you need to kind of cut off. You need to cut off. You can't grow. You can't. Your garden can't. You can't flourish in this kind of relationship. We are talking, but I kind of place some boundaries, because I need to evolve. And if you're evolving with the wrong set of, or the wrong mindset, someone that's surrounded with wrong mindset, you can't really evolve into a better version of yourself. And that's the whole essence of why this vision was battered. Now, let's quickly go through the first mental limitation of a purposeful woman. The first one is feeling of not good enough. Number one, the feeling of not good enough. You know you are called. You know you are gifted. You know you carry something powerful for the world, but there's this negative voice whispering onto you that you are not smart enough, you are not beautiful enough, you're not visible enough, that you are not bold enough, that you're a failure. You ask yourself, who is telling me that voice? Where is that voice originating from? Because if you do not like treat the root of that voice, it will pull you. Even when you want to do great things, even when you see other people doing great things, even want to prove yourself, you'll find out that voice keeps telling you you're not good enough. And what causes it? It might be from childhood. Maybe you grew up in a family or in an environment where you're always being put down. It's inside your subconscious mind. So you need to start working on that subconscious mindset. You need to start telling that voice that I am good enough. Yeah, you need to trace that lie that is telling you that you're not good enough. You need to go back to trace it. So you need to also understand, maybe you're coming from an abusive relationship, you're from an abusive partner that keep bringing you down emotionally, or keep making you to be emotionally wounded, or psychologically wounded, or spiritually wounded. That voice, it's like a seed that has been sowed in your subconscious mind. So when you want to do something great, or you want to start up a vision that God has for you, the voice will come up and tell you you can't do it, you're not good enough. Who told you that is a mediocre, you that is not smart, you that can stutter, that cannot face the camera, you that have failed in one project, and before you know, you cower down, and that vision is dead at arrival. So, and you want to build purpose, you want to understand who you are, want to be the best version of yourself. So you need to replace that voice with the voice of truth, and you need to anchor your truth on the scriptures. What did the Bible say about you? You are beautiful and fearfully and wonderfully made. That alone, you need to anchor your truth. Once you understand that you are beautiful, you are wonderful, and you are fearfully made, then you now start making yourself feel seen, making yourself carry value, making yourself proving yourself to the world. So your purpose is the proof. Now let's go to the second one I want to say is the fear of failure. I've encountered women that they have this fear. They can't, they have the idea is there, the vision is there, they see it, they plan it, but the fear of failure of that vision has already crippled the vision. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if I succeed? So when you have that fear, what if I fail in this venture? You ask yourself, what if you succeed? Yes, people are succeeding. So what if you succeed? Now, when God gives you a dream, that dream is a gift from God. And your execution of that dream, a gift back to God. Give you a dream or a vision, it is a gift from Him, and your ability to execute that vision is a gift back to Him, because you'll be answerable to that vision at the last day. You will be answerable. Every one of us God has given us talent. If you go to the Bible, they'll tell you the parable of talent, where the servant went to bury his talent, right? And the master came in and asked, what happened? Why did you bury the talent? So it is very, very important that for every vision that you have, it is a gift from God, and it's mandatory that you execute that vision as a gift back to God, because God has created it in a way that He said, I have poured my spirit to, right? I've written my name on their heart, and they will go and they will perform exploits, because God has created you in His own image and likeness. And because He has created you in His own image and likeness, you are a co-creator with God, right? You are a co-creator with God. And it's very important that we women trash that number 2 limiting mindset, the fear of failure. Now, the third one is the fear of success. Sometimes women don't fear failure. Yes, they fear their own greatness. They ask, there's some women that make it, that shining, that doing well. They'll call, when they see me, I'm being too I'm showing off too much. Oh, let me just dim my light a little. Oh, let me be conservative. Let me don't be the best version of myself before they will tell me that I'm overdoing it, right? So that fear, they fear their own greatness. They ask themselves, if I shine too bright, will I be seen as too much? If I rise too high, will people still accept me? And it comes also in relationship. You can see a woman doing well in her career, business, spiritual, a total woman, a purposeful woman. And because the pressure to get married is there, she will try to blend into the man's world. She would like to marry below her status, so that she might not, it will look like I don't want them to see that I'm established. If I become humble, maybe I will see a husband to marry. Where is that ideology coming from? I keep asking, where is that ideology coming from? Because you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. So success doesn't make you too much at all. It makes you a model. When you rise as a successful, as a purposeful woman, you also help other women rise. So what we are doing here, we are not doing it in isolation. Like DDK said yesterday, 5 things you need to know. You need to have a community, you need to have a mentorship, you need to read books, you need to have resources, you need to attend webinars, you need to have a personal retreat. So it is important that you need to give yourself permission to rise as a woman. Do not discard that limiting mindset of fear of success, because you're not being rebellious about your success. You are being responsible about your success. Now, the fourth one is the fear of becoming. This one is personal to me, because my evolution took years. I evolved from one stage to another. I faced a lot of challenges. I was down. I had my evolution. So if that fear of becoming who you are is very important. Every day, I take the neck, literally, of the monster, of the evil monster, of the mindset that's coming to me and tell me, Florence, you cannot become a better version of yourself. I say to myself every morning, today I will show my best self to the world. That is why people that know me, that have seen me physically, Nancy can testify, I am always putting my best foot forward. And I don't apologize for it. Why should I apologize for it? Because I am created to be the best version of myself. So I need to evolve on that every time. I need to show myself up. I need to show myself there. I need to showcase my gifts and showcase my talent and showcase the brilliance God has given me. Right today. And do not always apologize for your brilliance. So these are limiting mindset that most women have. Do not shrink so that others can shine. Yes, as a purposeful woman, because the sky is too wide for everybody to shine. Now, the fifth one is the fear of shining your best light. Now, let's say that the world does not benefit from your dimness. Yes, you need to shine. There's a song I said, this little light, when I was small, this little light of mine, I'm gonna make it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, you need to let it shine. The world does not benefit from your dimness, right? So if you hide your light because you are afraid of being judged, the world stays dark. So you need to be that butterfly. You need to be that dazzling light that spark out, that shine forth, so that people can be attracted to your brilliance. People can glorify God because of the gifts that He has given you. Right? You need to also understand that you are made for wonders. God has sent each and every one of us here to make a stamp, a sand, imprint our name on the sands of time. And for whatever we do, whether knowingly or unknowingly, unconsciously or unconsciously, we will be accountable for it. So I would like to ask, would you rather be too bright or completely invisible? Right? Would you rather cower or showcase your courage, your bravery, your insight? So your shining should attract the right people. So you do not shine in the wrong places. That is why you need a very vibrant community, a very vibrant association. Who are your values? Like what Funke said, that for your kind of relationship depends on the kind of values you are projecting. What kind of values are you projecting? What I do every end of the year is I prune my relationship, my contact list on my phone. I take up my phone, right? People that I know have not had more contact. I ask myself, what value has this person brought to me this year? What have I benefited from her or from him? In terms of 12 areas of my life: spirituality, career, finance, wealth, relaxation, creativity, right? Relationship. What value have I benefited? If there's no value, I just block. And I'm unapologetic about that, because I need a space. I need valuable people that will spur me into my purpose, that will help me to grow into becoming a better version of myself, right? So you need to understand all those things. Now, the sixth one is the fear of being small and limited. Do you want to tell your children stories or dreams you never pursued? Stop saying, I don't have enough. You are enough. You have enough to start. Those who look too long at limitations miss opportunities. You are enough. You have a what a not you have that capability to start wherever you are. DDK said something. Purpose, you do not start purpose with yes, you have a big vision, but you need to start small. So from your family, what is that gift? How do you package it? How do you strategize? How do you implement? How do you impact one person at a time? My personal mantra is, I impact one woman at a time. I sow a seed one woman at a time. There's no woman that has come in contact with me and have not left with something valuable. I just want to sow that seed one woman at a time, because I know that if I sow that seed one woman at a time, it's going to have a ripple effect. And I'm a big believer and fan of the principle of ripple effect. So as a multi-gifted woman, you don't have to be known for one thing. God gave you multiple talents for multiple assignments at different seasons. So you need to understand the season where you are, that you can execute such assignment, right? You need to rise and express it to the world. And also the last one I would like to say before we round up is the wing it mindset. This mindset has stalled a lot of people. So many women are talented, they have passion, but they lack structure. They lack structure, they lack strategy. And one thing that has helped me this year in my vision was I joined a community that had structure and strategy. I grew boom, and it was very important. We wing it. A lot of women just plan, leave it like that. Oh, God will provide, God will do it. Oh, I'm hoping on faith, hoping that things will just turn out like that. Yes, faith is good. We need to have faith, but faith is not a replacement for strategy. The Bible says that faith without works is dead, right? In as much as we have our faith, we stand and we say our convictions, our beliefs. But if we don't have the right structure and strategy, start implementing that belief, that conviction, that vision, you are just proclamating, like doing a proclamation. So your purpose without plan leads to what? Frustration. Whether in your business, in your career, family, be deliberate about structure. I am a very structured person. I cannot thrive in chaos, right? You need to document your vision. You need to document your life. Every day you need to have a journal. You need to give yourself a 90-day laser focused strategy. A 90-day laser focused what strategy? What do I need to do in coming 2026? The whole of this conference that I set on this month of November was to set you up in 2026, right? By now, you should have your roadmap for 2026, at least first quarter. At least first quarter. Map out who do you need to engage, who do I need to network now into my vision in 2026. You don't have to wait till when they say Happy New Year or I'm saying my New Year plan or vision. You need to start now. Because we're talking about 2026 is less than 2 months, actually. So what plan are we taking? What strategy, what structure, what alignment are you putting yourself in place to get the best version of yourself? So you need to understand others. You need to know that business is business as a purposeful woman. I love what Betty Hines talked about. She talked about emotional intelligence, how she use her emotional intelligence to create wealth for women. Her platform, Women Elevating Women, is such a wonderful platform, right? You need to also know that your business, know your numbers, know your structure, research. For every vision that God has given you, there is a blueprint already on ground. Research. Research a lot. Your purpose is purpose if only you are disciplined enough to run with it. A lot of people say, I'm not working with purpose, but they're not disciplined. You need to be disciplined enough. You need to be disciplined enough. You need to have direction and you need to have devotion to your purpose. Absolutely devotion. And the last one I want you to know is you need to have accountability partner. Who are your Aaron and Paul? Who are your Elizabeths? I have people that will call me if I'm not doing well. If I'm down today, my spiritual prayer partner that if I'm down, I can call. Dr. Donna is one of them. I can call her like this is what my heart is breaking, and she'll say, Florence, no, let's pray together. Who are they? Who will hold you accountable? As a purposeful woman, who will hold you accountable? So you need to have those plan around it this year. Structure your life. Structure the vision. Pray. Ask what community can I be to thrive in 2026. That is why the Purposeful Women Academy is here, because a lot is going to go on in 2026. I am just admitting a few women into this academy. A lot is going to go on because we need to start talking or start walking our talk. We need to start having execution mindsets. Because that's the only gift that we need to give back to God for giving us that vision and that purpose. Now, every limiting belief is a mental ceiling. But the moment you recognize it, you can replace it with the truth. You are not too small, you are not too late, and you are not too much. So I want to thank you for listening to this. The whole conference of this sub starts now. You're not too small, you're not too late, right? And you have to start now. You have to start now. So thank you, everyone. And Melody, can you come back to the stage and let's run up this conference? Thank you so much.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much, Lady Florence. That was an amazing one. Thank you. We've all had what she has said. Like there's something that struck me right so well is the fact that you are passionate about what you do. You could tell from her voice, from the way she speaks, that Lady Florence is really passionate. Yeah, Vera said, join a community that has structure. Absolutely. You need to join a community that has structure. Dr. Donna says powerful. Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep us here for so much time. Ladies, we've had an amazing time. And trust me, I would want us to still have this time, but because we're running out of time, we need to close. We've come to the end of this session, unfortunately, but we haven't come to the end of the bonding, right? We can still connect, we can still network, and of course be a part of the program, the academy. The link has been shared, I believe, on the comment section. Please join the link, fill the form, and be a part of this move. Be a part of this move. Lady Florence shared her story of how she wasn't someone that is as confident as she is today, but immediately she joined a community. She grew, and she's better today, and she's who we see her to become today. So it's possible to grow, it's possible to evolve, it's possible to become who God has ordained you to be. So don't dull yourself. Don't dull yourself, right? So please join from the link. You could just join the group and also fill the form. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you. We've come to the end of the Purposeful Woman edition 2025. Next year is gonna be massive. It's going to be massive. But anyways, let's thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, Ma, you're back on stage. I believe you have something to say. Lady Florence.
No, I just want to say next year conference, God willing. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say that next year conference will be bigger than this. Yes, so everybody should anticipate it's going to be a yearly conference. So it's going to be bigger, and the speakers, of course, we have set a precedent, so we need to keep up the tempo. So the speakers are world-class speakers, global speakers, because we are a thriving community, and we need to build global leaders, purposeful women around the world, people to know that you can call somebody in Cameroon, you can call somebody in Ghana, US, London. I have a vision. How do I implement? Your co-visionary, they come, let us implement it together. That is how you build relationship. That's how you build purpose. That's how you walk in alignment with what God has given you. So I just want to, I'm more of an edition. I don't like talking much, but just let's hope for next year. Next year will be bigger and better.
Amen. Oh my goodness. Should we end this call? I feel as though we should not end this. So to be honest, I'm already feeling like no, we shouldn't end this session, because I had a great time. I had to learn from all the beautiful speakers, amazing speakers. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right.